Hello, Brenda. EJ. Good morning, everybody. I don't know. I got up this morning at 5 o'clock and went and did a couple of ships in the dark because there were two cruise ships coming downbound, one right after the other. So I went down and caught them, and then I went down at about 7 o'clock this morning and got another ship upbound. So I was invited to go to lunch today with a group of people that I know. Don't think I'm going to go though. I'm not feeling all that well to go and sit in a restaurant someplace. Hey, Joe. Okay. We look forward to seeing you, buddy. Don't be a hermit. I just don't have any desire to go down and mix with people. Hey, Jim, how's it going? Hello, Lance. How you doing? Good morning, Lance.
Morning, Paul.
How are you this morning?
I am good. I am good. It's getting closer to the end of the year. Four more giddy ups after this.
Okay, six a.m. out there, right?
Yes, it is. You fly a ship yet?
Oh, I got three of them this morning.
Whoa.
I got two at about 5 a.m.
Yeah.
They're a little bit dark, but they're the two big cruise ships were following each other down from Lake Huron headed for Detroit.
Uh huh.
So I did those, and then I came back, edited those, and then I saw another ship that was going upbound that I wanted to catch, so I went and got it, and so I got the three ships this morning.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. You may or may not know. Um, so when you go on a cruise, say like in the Caribbean, I mean there are really cool islands that they drop you off at. You go for the day and you look around. You get back on and go to another island. What the heck is in Michigan?
Um, we have different. We got up in the northern part of Michigan. We have Alpena, which is a kind of a tourist town, and
Okay.
then we have Mackinac Island, which is a tourist attraction,
Okay.
and then they go up into uh, over into Minnesota, and there's a couple of towns on the water there that are tourist attractions too. So,
Okay. And then, of course, you can't forget Port Huron.
while they don't stop here, we don't have any cruise ships or anything that stop in port here, and they just cruise by. Um,
And you're at the almost at the end of the waterway, though, correct? Or is there an opening on the other side?
no, the waterway goes right past us. It comes all the way from out on the east coast, all the way into Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, Lake
Yeah.
the Detroit River goes on up and into Lake St. Clair, up the St. Clair River into Port Huron, and out into Lake Huron, and then that feeds Lake Michigan on the west side, and up to Lake Superior.
Okay. So for some reason, I don't, and I need to look at a map, but I thought Port Huron was like the end of the road. I mean, as far as water, and there
No,
was just
no,
a little more
no.
water. But
It's just a stopover. What it does, it's a narrowing of Lake Huron, and that's
okay,
what gives us a current going downstream. Because under the bridge, downstream, at the narrowest point is like 7 knots going down with the water.
okay. If you stood on your roof, could you see the lake?
No, I'm about a mile from there, but if I put a drone up, I can see it. Yes,
Yeah.
but the Great Lakes, like Lake Huron, is like a small ocean. It's
Yeah.
huge,
Oh, yeah.
huge, huge, huge.
I'm trying to think of which lake. I think it was Superior, the one with the
Where
uh,
the ships went down.
Minnesota. what's the armpit of the United States? What's that town called?
Chicago?
No, yeah, it's in Minnesota, and it's in East Minnesota. What's that lake? What's that one? Is that Superior?
Yeah, that's Lake Superior. Lake Superior goes east and west.
Uh, and it's sitting on the east side of Minnesota, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I that's the only lake that I've been to is Superior, and I went to that town, and it's got underwear named after it. What's the name of that town? And
G-string?
G-string. Oh, someone will know in the chat. Anyway, that was a nice town, and they call it the armpit of the United States. It's like I liked it. I don't live there, but I like visiting, and I stayed in a nice hotel right on the water. Come on, someone will know which town I'm talking about. I can't see the chat unless it's just you and me, Paul. Brenda will know. Brenda, Jim will know. Jim, Ed, Giggles. Well, Giggles won't know.
I think you're giving Giggles too much of a. I don't think he's ever done it. It's been around in Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you can't see anything I put on here, can you?
Not really. I mean, if I look down real quick, I probably could.
Okay, well, I'm showing you the Great Lakes.
Okay. And so go to Minnesota and go to the east coast of Minnesota and look for that. There's a. It's going. You're gonna. As soon as you see the name of the town, you're gonna say, "Oh yeah, that's the underwear town." It has underwear commercials.
I don't know what let me pull up
Google Maps.
Google Map.
As soon as you see it, I'm gonna say, "Why? How did I forget the name of that?" And we were just talking about it the other day. Somebody said in the chat that they live there. And I said, yeah, they call it the armpit of the United States, but I love it. I loved it.
Okay, so you say it's up
It's on the east coast. It's on the east side of Minnesota, and it's touching Superior.
Duluth?
Duluth. There you go. Duluth underwear.
I never heard of Duluth underwear, so that's why I didn't get it.
Huh. Yep, Duluth. Duluth is it's got a really cool lighthouse.
Well, the oldest lighthouse on the Great Lakes is here in Port Huron.
Is that right? I think I'm gonna scrap my 360 on my Avata 2 and fly it today.
Oh,
But I'll fly it.
you're gonna do that?
Yeah, I won't fly it this morning, but I'll fly it. Maybe I'll take the kids out into the
Later on,
field.
huh?
Yeah. My wife has 3 more giddy ups than I have 4.
And then you're off for what? Couple of months?
Yep, we're off until I think I go back on the 28th of August for some teacher workshops. Kids don't come until, I think they come early this year. We used to always, kids would always come the Wednesday after Labor Day. And then for about the last 5 years, they didn't come back until the following Monday, which, was way too late. But we would come on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of Labor Day and do all of our workshops then. But we're doing our workshops before then so we can get the kids started so we can get out earlier, because June 20th is ridiculous. I think next year we get out like on the 16th or 17th, which isn't a whole heck of a lot earlier, but
Well, now when are you going to Hawaii?
the 22nd, which is a Sunday.
Sunday the 22nd, you're gonna be gone what, 10 days or
I think 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay. Now, are you doing the island tours, like so many days one place, so many days the other, or are you just strictly going one place?
No, we are going to one place.
Okay.
And I've got a favorite place to fly because the surfers are there. It's a restaurant, and I usually sit on the lawn and fly my drone, and they're kids. Most of them are kids in this particular spot. They're probably 10-year-old kids that are just learning. Some of them are good.
Okay.
But it's kind of fun to catch the little guys, see them do their, some of them are real daredevils. And the nice thing about the kids is they'll jump on any wave, where the adults will wait and wait and wait.
They're waiting for that special wave, right?
Yeah, and I burn up a battery before, and I only get 2 surfers, so the kids will jump and they're lighter too, so they can ride smaller waves, I guess. I don't know a lot about surfing, so maybe we can get Don in here. He could explain it to us. Don, come on in. Donald, you're listening. It looks like it's going to rain. Paul, I don't know that I would live in the Pacific Northwest today.
Yeah, as you can see, you can't see it, but on my screen behind me, it's kind of dark and dingy out there today. It's not terrible, but it's not fantastic either.
Yeah. It kind of rained about 18 big raindrops on the way home yesterday, and then stopped. And it didn't rain overnight, it doesn't look like, but it looks like it could be threatening to rain, but it probably won't. The bad thing is it's supposed to rain on the 18th of this, so this coming a week from yesterday, and that's when our graduation is. And a lot of graduation parties are that day outside. So all the parents are kind of, crying a river right now.
Did you get all your yearbooks distributed?
I have about 4 left to give out, and those, like, one kid was kicked out of school, so I don't know how that, I'll just hold on to it until next year. A couple other kids are running Start Kids, so yeah, it's I'm pleasantly happy that I was able to get them all out by now, and all out meaning everything but 4. Usually it rolls into next week, and I still got 30 to 30 books to find kids, and so I'm happy about that. So I don't have to worry about staying late and taking up my lunch, and I just leave my door open, and any kid that needs to pick up a book at this point just comes in, and I check them off. Like I said, there's only like 4, maybe 5. I'll have to look.
Is it people that ordered the books or?
Yeah, some of the kids don't know they ordered a book because their parents ordered it. So they're like, "Oh, I didn't know I had a book." So what I do is, this week I started to email the 30 kids that hadn't picked up books, and my guess is they didn't know that they had them because, like I said, the parent orders them.
Now, are they prepaid?
Yeah, they're prepaid. Some kids can buy them now, but they have to go to the office to do that. I don't deal with any of the money. I don't touch any of the money. It's like you order it online, or you go to the cashier's office and buy it. So I don't have to worry about
what do they charge for a yearbook?
Right now it's $85 to buy a yearbook. I start at $65, and then January 1 it goes up to $75, and then it stays that way until the book hits the school, till it lands in the school, and then it goes up to $85.
Okay.
And I've got to increase the sales because I've got to dictate on how many books I order, by December, and then I've got to pay. My price goes up, so it's like, okay, I've got to, and I explain that to the kids. My yearbook class, I teach them about the marketing and the sales and the distribution, and so it's a whole course on hey, you can't lose money.
Jim has a question for you. He says hopefully you also emailed the parents to let them know too, right?
No, I don't email the parents. Nope. I bypass that.
Well, I can see why he would ask that because in most cases, a lot of kids in high school are not very organized.
Yeah. And I haven't done that, Jim, but thanks for the idea. I might do that with the 4 or 5 that I have left, because one kid says he's coming today, so I know that I'm getting rid of one of them.
Yeah.
And then the others, I might email the parents as well. That's
email the parents and say, the book, the yearbooks are in, and you've got until X time, a date to pick them up. Otherwise,
I burn them.
Yeah.
Okay. See if the Lady Washington is in port. I'm driving by right now. And if it's not, it'll be next week. But I can't believe it's not in here yet. Let's see. I'll let you know. Right now, it is not in port. Can't believe it. Still not here. There's 3 sailboats, but it's not the Lady Washington. Do I fly? Oh, there's a tug. Is he going in or out? Can't tell. Looks like he's going out to push a ship around. Dang, I wish I would have got here earlier. Got the tug.
Hey, Jonathan.
Let's see, is there?
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
How
Morning,
you
Jonathan.
doing?
It's the weekend, baby. Time to fly.
Well, you know what's today is Lance's favorite day.
Oh, that's right. Today's Friday the 13th. Never mind. I ain't going nowhere.
Pizza,
just remembered.
pizza day.
It's pizza day. You know what? You know
Oh,
what's you know the only thing worse than Friday the 13th, Jonathan?
What's that?
Monday the 16th.
What?
Well, you have to go back to work.
It's
Oh,
back
yeah,
to work.
yeah. You can look at it like that.
Well, he's only got what do you got? 4 more days to work?
Yep.
And you're off for the
4 more.
summer. And then Jonathan, he's going to Hawaii for a month.
Oh,
Not a month.
sweet.
I'm not going a month. I'm not going a month.
How
But
long?
you're going
You
to
said
Hawaii, though.
2
2 weeks.
You're going to Hawaii for how long?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
You
Hawaii.
gonna get some footage? You gonna get some footage of that volcano, man?
No, I'm wrong island.
You're
That's
going
the
to
big-
Oahu?
That's the big island. I'm going to Kauai.
Kauai.
Oahu is of all the islands is the worst to go to, in my opinion.
Well, it's definitely the tourist spot, isn't it?
It's the big city. I don't know that it's so much the tourist spot. It might be because it's the cheapest of all the islands to go to. It's probably the least expensive to find stuff because
Are they not close enough? Are they
no
not
one wants
close
to
enough
go
that
there.
you can?
Oh yeah,
Are they not close enough?
they've got where you can get back and forth mile an island.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying the island that you're on, though, is it not close enough that if you put the drone 400 feet in the
Nope.
air, you could zoom in to see the
No,
volcano?
So
You're not that
Kauai
close?
is the northernmost island, okay? And
Mhm.
Hawaii is the southernmost island. Think about the islands that they stretch from California to Texas. So if you were to lay the islands out on our map, on our United States map, Kauai would be in California.
Mhm.
Hawaii, the island with the volcano, would be in Texas. So there's no there's no drone in the world
That's a good distance.
going to capture that.
Yeah, when I went to Hawaii on one of my honeymoons, uh, we had to take a jet from one island to the other.
Oh, close by. USA.
Well, I've been listening to all of this, and I gotta come in. I'm gonna start from the back because I remember that more.
Right.
Lance told you the island was Kauai when he first started, and you asked him which one. He said he's gonna be there for 2 weeks. You said you're gonna be there a month. He asked you about Duluth underwear, but that was Lance's fault because Paul don't wear underwear, and he don't wear TV with he don't watch TV with commercials. Watch Star Trek. He is a hermit. He won't go eat with people because he's afraid to talk to people or go out to eat. What else? Let's go down the list. I can't remember. It's a couple more things. But I was enjoying it, listening to this.
Is
It's
what
like
it
every
is, Joe. It is what it is.
51st dates. Hey, 51st dates, the movie. You ever seen that movie? 51st
No.
dates? You need to find it and watch it.
No, I never saw that one either.
That's Drew Barrymore, which I can't stand, and Adam Sandler. And he falls in love with her, but she had an accident where her brain's where every day she wakes up, her day starts again. It's like Groundhog Day. So it's like every day he's got to make her fall in love with him again.
Oh, wow.
And
Why would he do that?
well, he's an idiot.
Because
That's why.
Just move on because
the day
he
before.
could disappear out of her life and she wouldn't know it.
Well, he's an idiot. That's what I said. Because
Oh, he's talking about Adam Sandler now.
Yeah,
That's a funny
yeah,
dude.
yeah. It's a good movie though. It's a good movie when it goes through it. I was gonna tell you the end of it, but I don't want to ruin it in case
Did
somebody
you
goes and looks
did
at
you
it.
did you fly through that tug yet?
Hell no.
You're gonna do it
Not
today,
flying through
right?
that
Friday
tug
the
so
13th?
everything's right. Everything's gonna be right before I do that.
It's the right
He's gonna
day.
think he's
Yeah,
gonna think
Friday the
Jonathan's
13th is a good day to do it, Joe.
And you know what? It might be today because there's no wind out there. Tip the forces, huh? And Lance, it's not Monday the 16th. You needed to see the movie Saturday the 14th. That's the day you worry about, not Friday the 13th.
well,
That's
I'm not
when
worried about I just don't like Friday. I just don't like Monday the 16th because I gotta go to work.
It's
Yeah.
back to work day for what? How many days do you got to work next week?
I work the 16th, the 17th, the 18th. I'm off the 19th, and I'm half a day the 20th. So 4 more.
Three and a
Four
half.
And he
more
said,
PTO.
and he also told you 4 more wake ups. That's what he told you.
And then you go to Hawaii on the what, the 15th or 16th?
Lord help.
22nd.
22nd.
Joe, you said wake ups.
Yeah, he said 4 more wake ups. That's what he said. And he said
just gave
he
me
was going on to say, hey, Paul,
you just gave me a flashback,
write
Joe.
notes. Write notes, Paul. Write notes. And what the notes are going to do is not going to make you remember things. It's going to make you start thinking of things. Because what you're doing is you're not listening. You're
No,
letting it go right
I'm
by.
listening, but I don't my the part of my brain that files things to recall is gone.
No, it's not. Because you
Yeah,
know how
that's
to fly
why.
a ship.
Yeah.
You know how to fly a ship. You know how to wipe your ass.
Yeah.
You know how to eat donuts. Let's see. What else?
Play with the dog.
Yeah, he's good. But you ought to go to that dinner today and start mingling with people again. You said you didn't feel up to going to it. Then you said later, I don't feel like mingling with people, basically. And you are a hermit.
Hey, Joe, Jim was saying that he had several places he wants to visit before he dies. Hawaii, Fiji. Have you ever been to Fiji or Bora Bora?
No, neither one. I've been to
Boy.
Hawaii. I've been to all the islands except for Molokai.
Molokai is a kind of a private island, isn't it?
No, Molokai. That's Niihau. Niihau is
Niihau.
private.
Okay.
Molokai is
Been to
basically
the
a
Virgin Islands,
pineapple.
Joe?
Say what? What'd you say,
You been to
John?
the Virgin Islands?
No,
You been to the Virgin Islands?
no. I've been
You
to
said you been to all of
Hawaiian
them.
Islands. Hawaiian Islands. I was talking about Hawaii. All the
all
Hawaiian
of those,
Islands
yeah.
except for Molokai, because that's basically it's got 2 roads and they cross in the middle, right? And all it is, one goes north and one goes, it's either east and west, north and south, one or the one like that. It goes one or the other.
And
I think
Jim put in the chat, Joe, I have to tell you, buddy, you're looking so much thinner in your face, and that your new haircut, you look like a whole new person. Proud of you.
Thank you. This is my old haircut. I just hadn't been cutting my hair. I just got tired. When I had to go do volleyball and everything again, I did it again. But it's one goes east-west, it's east-west road, and it's a north-south road in Molokai. And all it is pineapple plantations. That's what it was. And Molokai used to be a leper colony. They used to put all the people that had leprosy over there. So it became just a farming island. And the ironic part about that, there's no traffic lights, one road, north and south. And they had a fatal accident there when I was stationed in Hawaii. 2 people hit each other at that intersection.
No traffic lights. What's the speed limit?
I have no idea, but it was a fatal accident. It was a head-on collision, or it was a T-bone in there, and everybody died. It was, and I said, wait a minute, because that's the first thing I said. No traffic light and no stop sign or anything. No, it's just a road. I want him to have it now.
Hey, Jonathan, did you hear that Joe has lost over 30 pounds?
Yeah, I've been listening to that. I think he stopped going to buy all that leftover chicken.
Uh, haven't had any fast food in 9 weeks.
Yeah, but it was the
Last
spot you
night,
used to go to. What was that spot you used to go to? You used to get them good prices for the food that they left. Well,
yeah, I
not
used to
left,
go to
but
Win
I guess they
Dixie
were
at
about to
night
close.
and load up on it.
Yeah.
I haven't gone over there. I
Oh
haven't
boy, you
been. I
stopped
haven't
doing
bought
that.
any chicken any fried chicken in 8 weeks. You know, it's like
In
right
two
now
months,
for
you ain't
tonight.
ate no chicken.
I've eaten chicken, but I haven't gone and bought any fried chicken in any place. I've got chicken strips in here that I cook. But I'm making shrimp and grits tonight because I took some shrimp out, I forgot. And it's still good, but what I'm gonna do, I don't want to throw that pound of shrimp away. So I found a recipe on shrimp and grits in a slow cooker. So I got the slow cooker. That's what I was doing, getting everything ready. So tonight I'll have once it's cooked, I throw the shrimp in there and let them cook. And I'll have shrimp and grits tonight, and I'll have private apple tomorrow.
I can't put shrimp in my grits. No, that don't
You
work
got to
for
have
me.
it with all the Cajun seasoning and the butter.
Yeah,
That's what I forgot.
yeah.
Be right back. I forgot to put the butter in it. Trying to think of what I
Only
was
thing I'm
doing.
putting in my grits is butter. I might throw some sugar in there if I wanted to taste similar to cream of wheat, but just butter, salt, butter, salt, pepper.
Okay,
How
I
did
picked
it
up.
third?
Picked up this.
I was gonna fly, but that's a bad luck day.
Friday the 13th.
Shrimp and grits is awesome. Oh no, TJ. I guess because I never tried it. I guess it just don't seem to mix. I mean, grits is breakfast, shrimp, lunch, dinner.
Hey, Mad Props, good morning.
And shrimp and grits, if you got a lot of if you've got like the Cajun seasoning in it and all the cheeses and everything in it, it comes out
Mm-hmm.
really nice.
Yeah, I put cheese in my grits, but I don't know about the shrimp thing. I never tried that.
What's up, Dre?
Hey, Dre, how's it
Morning.
going?
Not too bad.
Hey, what's good with you, man?
How you doing, Jonathan?
I still waiting to see that Married For You book.
Yeah, I'm still sitting on the boat. Sitting on the boat with no name on it.
Still in transit.
Yep. No name with no payment.
Yo, it's crazy. I ordered. I don't know if y'all probably seen the commercial on YouTube or Facebook. They got these rose seeds that grow different color roses, blue and pink and white type roses. They said they grow all year throughout the whole year. I ordered them. Must have been 3 months ago. I still ain't got them, but I ain't got the Mavic 4 and other stuff coming from over that way. When I check the tracking, it says the seeds are stuck in customs. I'm like, are you serious? Of all the things.
Did you read the fine print? Was it colored or disappearing?
Say again, Joe?
Oh man.
You should have said colored year round, or was it disappearing?
The way I see it, by the time I get them, I'll be lucky if they grow. It's been about 3 months.
Yeah, it must not be set to gallery, Randy. Paul, do you have your view screen set to gallery?
Yeah.
Because Randy just said he's only showing 2 screens displaying.
Well, that's because
our cameras are off.
both Lance and Jonathan are not. They don't have a camera on.
Yeah, but it should show you, Joe, and myself.
Yeah, don't show me. I turn my camera off because I'm eating.
His camera's off too.
Oh, okay.
Slide your
I'm being
screen
nice.
because I'm looking at you Dre and Paul and Captain Joe's
Logo.
insignia there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I say
Logo,
us,
excuse me.
us on the panel. I see all of us at the top, and it just highlights whoever's talking.
Dre, is your wife's last day today?
Oh, she's been off since the end of May.
Oh, she has.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she
That's
Yeah, they
still
closed already.
wakes up around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning doing lesson plans. She's
yep.
just in that habit.
Once a teacher, always a teacher, right?
Yeah, yeah. In that habit. Like I said, I woke up this morning. This is my Friday off, and I asked, "How long you been up?" Well, I got up around 3, doing lesson plans. What to do for next year. I thought I heard Justin here. Did he?
No,
already.
he hasn't been here yet.
Oh,
No,
he must
Nah,
have
he ain't
slept
got
in.
it yet.
He must have stayed up late again. Slept in. No, I was going to tell him about the court decision already came out last night.
The what came out?
Well, we were talking yesterday about the California lawsuit against the Trump administration about the authorizing National Guard, all that kind of stuff, and we're discussing that there are certain protocols, also the 10th Amendment. And last night, the justice, at this point, sided with the state of California that the Trump administration
Oh, wow.
must give control back over to Governor Newsom about the use of the National Guard. But that's just for right now.
Okay.
So we'll see what whether the Trump administration already put in for an appeal already. So we'll see how far this goes. Like
yeah.
I said,
When you go back to just regular premium YouTube, it does only show 2 screens. It doesn't even show you.
well, I see both you
No,
and
it's only
I.
gonna show the screen that's got the cameras on.
Yeah, I
Yep.
see you and I, Paul.
Yeah,
the
that's all.
screen.
That's all it's there.
Yeah, but like I say, everybody else has their cameras off.
Yeah.
I don't know. Randy just brought it up in the chat. That's why I asked about it.
Because what I do is I always put the YouTube channel up on the right hand side, shrink it
Mhm.
down, and on the left hand side I have the
Right.
the other. So
So I heard Jonathan's a little skittish about flying today.
Yes, sir. You know, we old
Hey,
school.
Ziggy.
Friday the 13th used to mean something.
Ziggy,
Mm.
turn off 3D printer.
Okay.
I think
What
I
did you
just
call?
reset
What
my
did you
drone
call
back.
your
That's Ziggy.
Amazon? How you call it, Ziggy?
Yeah, the one with the screen, Ziggy. The one
Oh.
over here is regular Alexa, and then the one in the back is Echo.
Oh, okay.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I didn't ask you. Go to bed. Usually say,
Well,
bitch, I didn't ask you.
I say I'm glad you let us know. So when you start yelling at Ziggy, we know you ain't talking to the dogs.
Or your girlfriend.
Well, that's the one thing you don't have to worry about. Is the girlfriend.
Here
Too much
comes
drama.
TJ.
Mario.
Get your laugh on. Here we go. Huh, huh.
And now we're in the SeaWorld Sea Show on Paul Murray.
What's up, y'all?
Paul does his best reenacting of SeaWorld Seal.
How you doing, Lance?
Good, and yourself? You're not working today?
Doing good. Good.
You work the late shift today, or you don't work?
No, I'm off today. So I got a couple of checks that got sent to me during for my birthday. So I gotta go get those cashed, and then
You still getting checks at your age?
Yes.
His mama sent him a
Yeah.
$5
Imagine
check.
that, right?
You No,
Imagine
you gotta
that.
grow up, dude.
No, go.
That's what all the old folks do is they send
Dude,
them
it's
checks.
crazy how people still write checks. Like, dude, I don't even
Well,
write checks.
I write checks to pay my bills and stuff, but I'm talking about you getting checks for your birthday.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Previously, I've gotten cash. Like my mom would give me money, and she would write a check. But then
You missing
Right,
you
he
missing the
doesn't
whole
get it.
point,
people
TJ.
would
He doesn't get it, Drake.
other people.
You're
Well,
right.
other
He's
people
missing
would
the whole-
would send me cash or sometimes or whatever. So,
TJ,
but,
you missing the whole point. You missing the whole
Oh
point.
God.
TJ, how old are you now?
for
How old are you now?
42.
42. You know the
42 years
last
old,
time
and you
I
get
seen a
getting
birthday
money.
present that I didn't buy myself?
You said what now?
I had to still the last time I birthday present that I didn't buy myself.
Oh, which was?
Man, you talking 18, 19. It ain't been no more birthday presents after that.
Oh,
No,
Not from other people anyway.
my point, TJ, was not about the actual physical check. It's about you receiving money from moms and grandparents and aunts and uncles at 42 years old.
oh,
You too old for that stuff.
yeah,
At 42, you supposed to be the gift buyer. Not
Don't
the gift
kiss.
receiver.
Yeah.
Well, see, my cousin had bought me. My aunt bought me this.
Oh my.
She
Lord,
gave me a check, but then she also bought me some
Small
shower gel, and then she got me this. How do you explain? It's upstairs, but like, how do you explain it? It's an incense thing. You stick a cone on, like an incense cone, like on top of the thing, and you light it, and the smoke drizzles down like a waterfall. It's like a waterfall, like incense thing or
Oh, the
whatever it
incense
is.
burner. I seen that. They got it on Etsy. Etsy got them.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yep. And then my
I try to
cousin
remember
gave
the
me.
name of those. Frankincense.
Yeah. No, it's not Franken. Well, I don't know. I guess it's kind of like that. I guess I don't know. But my cousin got me a straight razor and some shaving cream, foaming shaving cream. But
Straight razor. Oh Lord, help me.
I said, I don't even use a straight razor. Like I use an electric one because I'm afraid to cut myself and then be walking around like with paper all over my face.
You don't use
I
a
didn't know
razor,
he still
TJ.
made those.
I gave it back to her so her husband could use it. And
Does
then
does your cousin like you?
I would hope so. I mean,
He doesn't
Maybe a
know.
straight razor.
she gave me a couple other things that I could use, but I gave her back the straight razor and the foam and the shaving foam or whatever, so her husband can use it.
Now
then
the big question is,
And she was
do you give every?
she was like, from here on out, TJ, I'm giving you gift cards.
The big question: do you give everybody that gives you gifts for their birthday?
Yeah. Well, if I'm not able to give them a gift or whatever, like I'll call them and say happy birthday or whatever. Because I don't like when it's not even their birthday. If it's Father's Day, Mother's Day, whatever the holiday is or whatever, it's so hard to buy for people because I feel like everybody's got everything. Like, man, what should I get this person or what should I get that person? It's like,
Well, the answer to that question is stop buying people stuff.
yeah.
But the problem, Paul, is they keep buying him stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes they'll get me stuff, like they'll send me stuff in the mail or whatever, but I don't know,
Hey,
like
Lance.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Hey Lance, can you see it? Look, landfill.
hold on,
That's
hold on.
cool.
It's
I'm
the
just-
love, TJ.
I'm
We
just
still got
pulling into
love
my-
for you.
Yeah,
Pulling
that's
into the rock
right.
pile. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see if I can get it big. Okay, show me again. Oh yeah, look at that.
Pretty
That'll
landfill,
last 7, 8 years in the
That's not-
landfill.
at least.
So our rule, TJ, when the kids graduate from college, we stop buying them stuff. Like my nephews and nieces. That's kind of our rule of thumb.
Now, I had a godmother that until I was about 30 years old, I'd get a check, I'd get a card from her, and she'd find me wherever I was. I'd send me a card. I open it up, have a $5 check in it.
Mm.
I don't think I cash one after like 20. Cool.
Since I was 19. Right, Prosh. That was the same time too. The last present I got was 19 $100 bills in the envelope. When they say that's your last one, because you ain't a teenager no more. Your next year 20, ain't no more teen in your name. So get what? Anything you get for your birthday, you gonna have to buy yourself.
Yeah, because I guess I don't know. I guess gift card. Gift cards are always good. So that way, you know, you can get yourself what you want or whatever. People don't have to worry about buying you. You can just go out and get what you want. So.
So they already have the appeal on that, Dre?
Yeah, well, Trump folks are already ready to shoot their appeal, so they got a judge to temporarily block the original judge's decision from returning the control of the National Guard to the governor of California. So it's going, and like I say, it's just a temporary, so I don't know how long it's in place, but it'll go to the next level up. Like I said,
it's definitely gonna keep going up. But when it ultimately it's gonna come back to, I guarantee it's gonna come back to Commander in Chief.
Well, you have that part, but also you just can't arbitrarily just state everything you want done as a national emergency or actual invasion, because it's not an invasion. It's not a national emergency. So that's what limits the president's power. He has the power in case of national security situation, where, like you said, invasion force or something else that's beyond the normal control. We don't have that scenario. So that's going to be the pushback from the state to say we felt we still had control because of all these other things we have in place. Like I was talking about mutual aid agreement of departments, all that kind of good stuff. That never got a chance to really get fully enacted. So how does the president make a decision based upon his own wills and wants to say, well, I sent them there because I didn't want to see anything get set on fire. I didn't want to see any, like I said, it's not about what you foretell in the future. You have to deal with things what are happening in real time.
I think when it's all said and done,
do you really need to ask that? I mean, look, I mean,
The governor of California is a buffoon.
Well, that may be true, Paul, but he's still the governor of California, just like the governor of Michigan.
Well, he's elected by buffoons then.
Well, like I say the same thing about your state. She was up there championing his cause too at Capitol Hill.
Yep.
So I'm just saying this is about the right for the individual states, which is under the 10th Amendment of our Constitution. And that's what I tell people is that there's a lot of things in the Constitution that you need to research, find out about, and it tells you the difference of what the federal government authority is, even at the presidential level, and what states' authorities are. And that's why we have our Constitution written the way it is, because our forefathers said they did not want a king-type situation or attitude coming from the federal side of the fence. That's why states have a lot of power themselves.
Makes sense.
Well, I would say I would be in favor of California going back and joining Mexico.
Well, like I said, that's all everybody's opinion. But like I said, who's the one that said they want to go take the land in the first place? Because basically that's what happened. It wasn't a major war. The war between the United States and Mexico primarily happened in the state of Texas. There was no battles in California or Arizona, Colorado, all the way up to Oregon. There were no battles up there. Most of the battles between Mexico and the United States primarily happened in New Mexico and Texas.
Yeah.
But the United States gained all that other territory.
Well, they gained it because they paid them $15 million for it too.
Well,
They wound up selling it to end the war.
They sold it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like I said, whose fault is that?
Wait a minute. They sold the state for 15 million?
They
That's
sold
it?
most of the Western United States.
All the Western
15.
United States, they sold it to the U.S.
And
for
Mexico
$15
sold to the
million.
U.S. for 15
But that
million.
was back, when was that,
For
Joe?
merely 15 million.
Well,
I
that
was
back,
in the,
back then, 15 million was probably $500 million.
Yeah. Well, I tell people Mexico used to extend all the way up to, I think, Idaho, if I'm not mistaken. So everything from Idaho, my opinion, which is above Idaho's above Utah, but I think everything from Idaho going west to the West Coast, you come down through Texas, all used to belong to Mexico.
Wow. Now, I literally didn't know that.
Yeah. So, like I said, when I hear things like this, I tell people, just like the Louisiana Purchase. The Louisiana Purchase covered everything from Louisiana all the way up to Idaho, all those states in between. You talk about Arkansas, Missouri, what else is in there? The Dakotas.
Wait,
All
don't say Missouri, because then Mudball will think, well, that's why I know how to make roux better than you. Don't say that.
I mean, it makes sense though, because the Virgin Islands, they're now part of the United States, have been for a good while, but it was a part. Yeah, there was a time when some of them weren't. They were the British Virgin Islands when I want to say the Navy. Yeah, when the Navy was doing their thing, they bought out the Virgin Islands so they could dock and restock all that good stuff. Y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all military. But yeah, that's how they end up becoming the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Well, let me address Randy's position. Just because someone threatens federal officers, don't make it a national security issue, Randy.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, that's not. Public officers, law enforcement officers get threatened all the time. They're threatened by various groups from the left and from the right. But there are groups on the right that hate the law enforcement officers just as much as folks on the left because they uphold the law. So they're saying they were threatened with violence or whatever, and a few of them got some rocks thrown at them, which I don't approve of or anything else, doesn't make it a national emergency for the president to act.
Hey, Donald was in the chat.
I knew he's coming. I said his name. That's all it took.
Double D. Good morning, family.
Yeah.
So
come on, Don. It's showtime.
Have they said or did anything about the cop? About the cop that shot the lady, the reporter?
Yeah. Well, like I say, I tell them all the time, when you get embedded with the mess, you got to suffer the consequences of that mess. Yeah, that's it.
You better first off, better be identifiable, and then you're still in the middle of it. You know, you can get it from both ways.
If you look at the video, right, she wasn't even in the direction of what was going on. She was standing, well, from the cop's view, she was standing to the far right. He literally turned to the far right and lifted that I guess it was shotgun with a beanbag or whatever in it, and shot her.
Here comes Don
with a rubber bullet. But you're missing the point, Jonathan. He was checking out that ass, and he was trying to hit her on the ass.
Hey, Jonathan. I'm hopping on just because Jonathan's on here.
No, but like I say, Jonathan, what the problem we have today is you got a bunch of people out there with cell phones on gimbals, all this kind of stuff, trying to say they part of the press.
That's what I was going to say.
and they're not. They have no real press credentials.
Well,
To
you don't
say
need press
who's-
credentials.
Well, an event that is recommended,
Yeah.
you have it so you
And,
can
and
be
that kind of
identified.
event, it is recommended.
Now,
It's recommended so you can be identified.
right. The and the thing about her getting hit was it intentional, but still, people go in there they think, oh, I got rounded up in the group of protesters, and I'm just here covering it, and I got rounded up. It's like they don't know. Their job is
right.
to clear the streets.
Yeah.
You can sort out later, but when you cover an event, when people go cover a war zone, they don't say, hey, you know what? It's crazy that someone got shot in covering a war zone. It's like,
Mhm.
no, you are embedded with
Right.
one of the combatants.
Yep.
You have to. You're
That's part
taking
of the
on.
risk.
You are taking on a certain amount of risk.
Yeah.
And that's the other
Risk.
thing. People, if they are out, it doesn't matter how good your cause is, how righteous your cause is. In fact, it's even more important if you really believe in your cause.
What do you
The
got,
police,
Joe?
the police arrested me. The police did this, and all I was doing was protesting this thing. It's like, yeah, you are putting yourself out there to have that consequence because you believe in that protest. You're willing
No.
to accept that consequence of your actions because you believe in your
Right.
cause. If you think you should be able to go out and do a protest and never suffer any consequences for any of your actions in that protest or riot because your cause is good, then you don't really believe in your cause that much.
Right.
Mhm.
Because you're not willing to put yourself and put any consequence on the line.
Right.
Yeah, but I
This-
was just saying, Don. Oh, go ahead, Joe. I don't think.
No, this is like my wallet, right? And I keep this in my pocket every time I go anywhere. And this is I sometimes I forget my phone, but this is in my pocket, right? And in my pocket I got this. That's a little press card that stays in that wallet, right? That's issued by the state police of Louisiana through the Louisiana Press Association. I make sure I have that on me in case something happens somewhere and I don't have anything else, because that right there has more weight than anything else I own. But you better be identifiable and don't be telling them bullshit because they don't play.
Yeah. But that's what I was going to say, Don, is that now you have so many people out there with cell phones on gimbals, all this kind of stuff, pretending or are stating they're with the press, and they don't actually are, because they got a YouTube channel. Oh, I'm part of the press.
Well, they're acting. And technically,
Yeah,
they
like
are.
that.
Later, props. Yeah, I thought it was just me who was buffering, but I guess it's a few other people. It's happening too at the same time.
Oh,
All right, Randy, take care.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
hey, Randy, Mudball, we thought you came on because we were talking about the Louisiana Purchase and how your state became part of the country.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, Joe said something. I can't remember what it was.
Just
What you
because,
say,
I
Joe?
said just because he's part of Louisiana Purchase doesn't know, he doesn't know he knows how to make gumbo.
No, of course it doesn't mean I know how to make gumbo. I just happen to know how to make gumbo.
I'll give you credit
Just
for
like
that.
just like you being down there in Louisiana doesn't mean you know how to make gumbo just because of your geographic
but you see,
location.
I got more weight down here though. But let me put it like this.
We know you got more weight. We don't need to even get out a scale to prove it.
Okay, but let me finish this. Just because you say you make gumbo, I haven't tasted it, and sometimes sloppy muddy water looks like gumbo.
Yeah, you know, see, not sloppy muddy water doesn't look like my gumbo, and even if you got to taste it, you're not the arbiter of what gumbo tastes like just because you live in a geographic location, sir.
Got more experience.
He was just saying that his tastes better than yours. That's all. You know. I don't
He's
know.
claiming. He's claiming. You've seen my gumbo though.
Yeah,
It looks
no, I
good,
ain't
don't
to
it?
you. It does look good. But I've seen some gumbo in Louisiana look good. That was shitty, boy. Oh,
Well, you get to see every step I make,
Try my
except some of the
daughter's gumbo.
seasoning.
TJ, you eat gumbo?
Yeah, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll eat anything, man. I like anything.
All right, so I say we let you be the judge. Or the
All
gumbo?
right, everybody make some gumbo, and I'll go around. And
No,
taste it.
ain't no everybody. It's just them two right there.
I see. When Joe makes gumbo, he starts out with 3 cups of ketchup.
No, that's talking about boxes. The boxes
Oh, wow.
out.
Okay. Okay. There we go.
Wrapped in his proper cheese.
Now I'm gonna share this for Paul and a few other folks who
That's
are
funny.
not aware of what Mexico used to be like. This is before the Mexican-American War. Now all that belonged to Mexico.
Yeah,
Before?
Before the
Before-
Mexican-American War.
yep. And before that, it belonged to somebody else. A map is only a
Wait a
snapshot in
minute.
time.
So, isn't that California on there?
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
I said
California used to be part
California.
of Mexico.
That belongs
I
to
said-
Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you
technically
it
Spain.
goes all the way up to Oregon. You go to Oregon, come across to Idaho, come down a little bit, covers Utah, covers Colorado, comes down, covers parts of Kansas, covers mostly Oklahoma, all of Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada. All that used to belong to Mexico.
Oh. They
Right.
gave up a lot. Yeah.
Yep.
A couple of battles in Texas and 15 million.
Yep. And
Yep.
and now some people want to pretend that it should still be part because we stole it. It's like, no, we didn't steal it.
You sold it.
There's a dispute, and we also paid for it.
Right. They sold it.
Now, this is even a more interesting map here of not just, it said the Empire of Mexico. I'll share this, and it even covers more. The places that Mexico had influence of or control of.
Mhm.
Now, look at that one, Jonathan. Parts
Oh,
of Florida,
wow.
all the way across the bottom end of Mississippi, Alabama, going back in Louisiana, all of Cuba, and part of the Virgin Islands.
Yep.
Right.
All those areas that Spain controlled
Mexico
until Mexico got its independence.
right. There it is.
So yeah, it's
History is so fascinating.
It really is.
It is. I live a stone's throw. In fact, I used to live on Route 66, and I love the history of Route 66 coming across here. I was just driving through Monette. That's along the Trail of Tears. We got a lot of history in this area, and I like finding those little spots that.
Yeah, well, I still have some historical. Route 66 is only 2 blocks from my house.
Yep, there's the. I'm thinking it might be 7, 8 blocks now from my house. But I used to live directly on what used to be part of Route 66, and it's not on any maps anymore because there's 3 ways to take Route 66 through this little section, this Joplin area, and one of them used to go right across where my house was, but then they moved the intersection and moved it a block, and it hardly shows up on any maps now that was ever part of Route 66 where I lived. But you still have a weird, as you're going down the street, everything's grid line except for one little curve, and it's like, why is that curve there? Why is that concrete? Oh, that's
Jason.
where it took a little jog over
Jason.
and continued on down the main street.
Yeah.
Joe,
Well,
Joe,
Don, I
Joe's not
I
paying
still have the
attention, otherwise
teepees
he'd be
here
giving
in
you a
my area.
salute.
You still have the teepees?
Yeah, the TP motels.
Yep.
We
Did
still
you know
have
that-
them here. It's
Hey,
in
Right.
the same ward that I live
Morning,
in.
Joe.
Route
Captain.
66, Foothill Boulevard, San Bernardino, California. And there, I think it was somebody on here. I wanted this show, whatever show. When I showed them a video I took of it, they thought it was something that was just in the Cars movie. I said,
Yeah.
no, this is the real deal, dude.
Yeah. It was based on that. I mean,
Yeah, it's based on that. I said, this is the real deal.
and Galena, which is just over 20 minutes over just across the border into Kansas.
Mhm.
Galena is where the guy that they based Mater off of lives.
Oh,
He's a weird guy who can turn his feet all the way around backwards.
oh wow.
And so that's why in
So you should have told Jonathan that, 'cause now he
No.
totally freaked out.
No, it's true. You can look up a documentary. Look up a documentary, real life Mater, Galena, Kansas, and you'll see where he will do that for people. He's getting older and he's not really flexible. He needs help doing it now. But he used to just be able to turn his feet all the way around outwards and then all the way around and stand there. And that's why in the movie, Mater is the world's fastest backwards tow truck. Because the guy could turn his feet around backwards. Yeah.
Wow.
And Mater, it was actually a tow truck in Galena, Kansas, that they took a picture of him based the look of Mater off of, and it's still over there.
Interesting.
Crazy.
I had a girlfriend in high school who was like that. She was in gymnastics.
And the show
I'm
got
glad
creepy.
you stopped there, Joe.
That's all
I'm glad you stopped there.
I left it right there.
Yep, left it right there.
So I knew that's all I
Don't take
needed
much
to
of
do.
somebody
Leave it
to
right
cause
there.
some flashbacks.
You were heading in a different direction there, Joe.
And that's why I stopped.
It's fun looking at some of the macro history, but I really love how it impacts the small place. I like finding those small places that are disappearing.
They're there to just rebuild, renamed.
Mm-hmm. Well, everything is transitory.
I have a few of those girls right now in high school right now. Transitory girls.
I think we all went through that phase. in life.
Joe, snap out of it, Joe.
I cleaned it up for him.
Friday the 13th, I'm on. Let's go.
And it's summertime.
Yeah, I got to get over today. My son, I'll see my son one more time today, and then he's gone for a while.
Going on deployment?
Yeah, he's going to North Carolina, leaving today.
Okay.
Oh, he's getting orders to North Carolina.
No, this is the
No.
other one. The
No,
other
this
one
is this is the police officer. He's going up to Carolina to get a job.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a
a
police
post records
officer
right
again.
here.
Right on.
Yeah, he's been sending me all his paperwork. I've been printing off for him so he can bring and hand it to the guy. He's already sent them to him, but he's going to have a copy to hand him.
All right.
So is he going to come by there and pick that up?
Yeah, he's still got. I told you, a quarter of my room in there is his storage unit.
Oh,
He's still got a couple things to bring over today.
What is Monday? Monday will be the 16th.
You gonna have you
Yeah,
stretch
Joe,
your space there, Joe.
He did 608 hours in the academy. The academy in North Carolina is 800 hours. So they said they'd have to look over all this, see what he's already got. And they said he can do FTO and then work whenever that class comes up, go to that class. So he's just got to get his foot in there. He said, if I got to go to the academy again, the hell with it. I just go again, as long as they're paying me. I don't care. He's in that kind of shape, and he came out first in fire department, first in the academy and police. He said, I'll just be first again. He's got a good mindset, you know. He'll work hard for it. I told him, I said, that's 3 years ago. You think you'd be first again? He said, I could be nothing less than first. He said, for me, I have to be first.
did your Navy son ship out again yet?
Paul, be close to the camera. Saying my Navy son. He's not in the Navy. Marine Corps son.
Marine Corps. Okay.
No, not yet.
funny.
Now for you to get close to the camera.
Uh, that's pretty good. That was a good one.
It's easy to remember, Paul, because Navy has the SEALs, and SEALs are the animals that shit on marine life.
Donald, I
Let's
think I'm
see,
making a
Don.
trip. I think I'm going to Missouri. I think I'll be right. I'll be up there tomorrow.
Don't worry, Joe. All I tell the Navy guys when I meet one, I say, you guys are all right. Blueprint for Uber.
Let me get that lead
That's right.
pencil out. Hey,
That's
hey,
right.
Donald, I got the lead pencil out because I'm making a thin line right now.
Big picture, generally speaking, we are the transport from the Marines. Get them to where they
Right.
need to go.
Right. I said,
Big
"Here's
picture.
Blueprint for Uber.
I was about to say that. I was about to say Navy was our Uber drivers, but that was no disrespect there.
Security forces for the naval vessels. So I
Everybody,
drove by a GameStop this morning, and there was a line out the door.
What came out?
And I stopped in just to see what was going on over there. I guess they're releasing Magic the Gathering items and Pokemon items today.
whoa.
I remember when that was really popular. I used to
Cards, I
play
guess.
that when I was in high school, Magic the Gathering.
I played
think it's
Magic
still
back in
popular.
the 90s.
Yeah.
I still
no idea
have
what
a
you're
box
talking
full of
about.
cards upstairs. I have no idea what's in them.
No.
It's like Dungeons and Dragons, but with cards. You don't have the,
But everything
Right.
the last packs I bought was when they had the slivers, when they introduced the slivers.
is Slivers a type of enemy or something?
Yeah, they are they and it's sad I haven't played it since then either, but I still remember they were very low cost and very weak creatures, but when you got multiples on the board, the powers expanded exponentially. So the more slivers you got out, you suddenly could jump ahead in the game.
All right. Right on.
Yeah, that wasn't my type of game. I didn't play those card games.
That would have been 97. So that's when I stopped. Oh, right about the time I got married.
Gotta do it.
Priorities changed. Yeah, that line was out the door today. I stopped in. I asked the guys in line, "What are you guys buying today? What's being released?" And they're like, "Yeah, Pokemon and Magic." And, oh, all right. Oh, man. So I left.
Hey, Paul, this is the best thing he's got going for him right here besides this stuff. This letter from Covington Police Department said, verified Justin Trumpet employed as a full-time police officer, Covington Police Department from June 27th to March 25th, and the years, 3 years. And he says he voluntarily resigned his position in good standing.
There you go.
And the guys and the deputy chief that is tight with him said, if you have any questions, contact me. Oh, let me tell you what happened. Like, y'all gonna love this. Something is definitely going on with Covington Police Department. They had he was telling us about a chase last night. His shift, Hess and another guy, Tally, on his shift, they were behind a car. The guy was acting erratic, and Hess ran the plate. The guy had a felony warrant for armed robbery and a couple other things out of New Orleans. So he's hollering, Tally, we need you over here. Get over here now. Like this. So Tally speeds over to him to get to him. The guy pulls into a racetrack right up here by me. He pulls into the racetrack. Tally lights him up and comes in behind him, and Tally comes in. So they got him in the racetrack parking lot. Tally comes out of the car because they say he's armed and dangerous. Out of the car with his gun, saying, "Get out the car." like this. When he's out the car, I want to see your hands get out the car. The guy bolts and takes off with the car. They chased him on the interstate from Mandeville, Louisiana, or Covington right here, all the way in to the exit right by the new Buc-ee's, 50 minutes away. It took him 22 minutes to get there. The guy ran out of gas. Ready for this? Ran out of gas. Now, they knew this pursuit was on. Mississippi picked it up. State police picked it up. Ran out of gas, got out and started walking, and it gave up right there. He said, I wasn't stopping. Nobody's ever caught me before. I just ran out of gas. Like this. Now, it's a white guy, white cops, right? Deputy chief calls the guy running Izzy last night, running the shift, and says, why didn't you call this chase off? Because they were doing excessive speeds. He said, and he went through the felony warrant. The guy's going to probably get about 90 years because he had weapons in the car. He had fentanyl in the car for distribute all kind of stuff.
Dang.
The guy was a dealer, the whole works. So they got a major guy off the street, right? Major guy off the street. The two officers involved, they're talking to him about their speeding.
Want to know why they were speeding?
Yeah. The deputy chief said, you don't do, there's a different deputy chief. He says, you don't do anything unless I approve it. And he said, that's my shift. I know you don't like my shift. You've already run one of my officers out. You're not running us out. He said, go to hell, and walked out. That was the running the shift. He said, that's my shift. We do more work than all of y'all. Y'all sit around and your fat asses don't do anything. And he told his officers, just do your stuff. Like this. And all of this came back to Justin. And Tally and Hess said, let us know how North Carolina is. If it's really good, we'll come up there too. So it's like something's going on. The chief's about to retire, and the deputy chief's trying to get the job. You know, that's what it is. But they took a major player off the street yesterday, and the guy. I didn't see the body cam, but Hess is standing over the guy, and the guy said, "Yeah, why?" He said, "Why'd you run?" He said, "Because nobody's ever caught me before." He said, "Well, don't ever come to St. Tammany again." Yeah. But the new Buc-ee's they just built, that's where they arrested him in the parking lot. Yeah.
Nice.
Justin asked
Well,
him, he said, well, when
well
you
done.
finished, did you go in there and get a brisket?
Brisket on the board.
All right, fellas, I'm at work. I'll see you guys later on. Have a
Hey,
good
Jason,
afternoon.
don't work too hard.
Don't work too hard, Jason.
Thanks for stopping in and making TJ's day.
That's funny. Oh, me.
That's the other thing he's got going on today. He's got two of his friends want to meet him for lunch before he leaves.
Paul, what time's that? The lunch thing. What time is that at?
Noon.
Oh, you still got some time.
No, I'm not going
Why?
because I don't want to.
Okay, Hermit.
That means you'd have to go outside and meet and talk to people.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Hey, if you can go outside and fly your drone and talk to people, then you could definitely like go for that lunch thing. And talk to
TJ,
more people.
give it up, buddy. Give it up.
What's up, John? How you doing?
Hey, can fix stuff. JDS.
JDS.
I'm hanging in there, JDS. How about yourself? What's new with you? Anything? Other than dealing with TJ.
You still love me, Paul.
Yes, we do.
Uh,
You're one of our favorite guys that likes to banter around. I always thought, TJ, you'd be a great guy to have that great big hat on and the thing and leading the parade.
yeah. No, I'm not one of those. We're supposed to go to a hockey game tomorrow after I get off of work, but apparently my wife forgot. She accidentally deleted the tickets off of her email, and and she still got the what would she say?
Why I can't do that?
Hey, stop that. What are you doing?
Okay, so she said she accidentally deleted the tickets off her email. She took a picture of the confirmation code, and then she was asking my mom if that would work, and she was like, "No, you need them to get in," and then telling her to go to her trash to see if they're there, and she looked and the tickets aren't in her trash mail or whatever, and then my mom was like, "Yeah, you need to get the tickets." And then I don't know, just a whole bunch of she got them. She used my laptop to order them or whatever, and then sent them to her email or whatever. And then I don't know. I guess
wherever you order them from, you might be able to go back with the confirmation
Yeah,
code
go
and get a
back to
copy of
wherever they were purchased through.
it. Because
Yeah.
that's playoff tickets, right?
Well, my mom was like, if you purchased them on SeatGeek, you had to do an account, and she was on her desktop, and she can try to retrieve them, but we'll need info.
Yeah, you just need the confirmation code.
Yeah.
It is Friday the 13th.
But what you call it? That's playoff tickets because they're yelling the playoffs right now. That's expensive tickets.
Yeah.
Don't do anything today, TJ. Friday the 13th.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to fly the tugboat.
Joe's going to fly the tugboat on Friday the 13th.
It was a pretty cool shot there, Lance.
Yeah, I was brave enough to fly through that. That's the first time I've flown through that bridge.
Heck yeah.
Was that a dig at Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a dig at Joe. It was perfect timing. Thank you, TJ.
He can dig all he wants.
Yeah.
There you go, Joe. Just like that.
That was the Avata 2, obviously.
Yeah.
No, it was a Neo.
That was Matrice 3.
Lance, I did that almost the same shot that you just did with the Mavic 3.
Dude, I would have been nervous. If you did that with a camera drone, I would have been nervous as crap.
And I bet you nobody believes me.
The prop's hitting something on the end there and go bring, and then just spins out of control.
It made Johnny nervous. Johnny says, "Oh shit, you thought I was gonna hit it." I went through with a Mavic 3.
I have video somewhere.
Yeah, Jim. Yep.
Where I went through with the Phantom 4 through a little railing. Let me see if I can find that.
I'm gonna try to find it because it's a short. It's on mine as a short.
I have until 2 o'clock today, and then I will be off.
So you got an early day today.
Yep. But my day is going to be packing and
Oh yeah, because y'all are getting ready to go down. Y'all are going down to Florida, coming down to Florida or whatever.
Yeah, Jacksonville,
Jacksonville.
not Jacksonville. We're going to Pensacola.
Pensacola, yeah.
Yeah, I was just messing with you. Where would I put that footage? Here's the flood. Hmm.
Things that make you go,
Things that make you go,
Don fell right into that one.
That was a good song.
Yeah,
No,
that is a pretty good
TJ
song.
wanted to find an
Yeah.
excuse to laugh, and you fell right into the trap.
Now, TJ, do you remember where Things That Make You Go came from?
No, I've just heard the song a bunch.
It was a bit from Arsenio Hall.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, he made that popular, and then the song came after.
Oh.
But it was one of his little opening segments in his talk show, and it'd be just weird things that make you go,
And then somebody heard that's like, man, I'm gonna turn that into a song.
Not somebody heard it. It was everywhere.
Oh.
So Donald, I heard you were going to Miami.
Yeah. Miami, Oklahoma.
Wait, is that thing?
Yeah, and actually they pronounce it Miami in Oklahoma.
Miami.
Miami.
We don't call that around here, not like those city folks down in Florida.
That's funny. That's pretty good.
We have a Des Moines, Iowa. I mean, Des Moines, Washington up here. We pronounce it Des Moines.
There's the town I grew up in. There's one in Texas too. There's one in California and Texas.
And we have a town just to the north of us called Nevada. It's spelled like Nevada, but it's pronounced Nevada.
Okay. So would it be that the local population has just always pronounced it wrong, or
Yeah.
is Nevada the wrong way?
Oh
So Lance, have you ever ordered a pair of those Duluth underwear before?
No, I have not.
I haven't, but I've always wanted to because they claim it. They're really comfortable.
Yeah.
I like their commercials. They're funny.
They are pretty funny.
What?
Yeah. Duluth underwear.
It's like the Jack's Links commercials are pretty funny too.
Oh yeah. Those are pretty good.
Sasquatch.
Yeah, running little Sasquatch running around.
Liberty.
Oh yeah, what about the one? What about the one with the little baby? They're like arguing back and forth or whatever.
Oh, I hate that commercial.
I'll tell you one of the funniest companies, but it's not commercials, and they're one of the biggest internet trolls is Wendy's.
Yeah. Wendy's, their Twitter campaigns.
Oh my God,
were
dude,
brilliant back in the day.
They're still doing it.
Yeah, but Twitter's kind of fallen to the.
Apparently,
back when everybody was on Twitter and it wasn't just a political cesspool, and Twitter was fun. Yeah, they ruled Twitter when it was fun.
Apparently, they said something recently that was controversial. I didn't see what it was, but kind of pissed some people off.
And people would ask. There was a certain day when Wendy's would be roasting people, and people would ask to be roasted by Wendy's.
Yeah, or they'd come in there talking shit, talking about McDonald's is better or something.
All right, look at the logo and see if you notice anything at all, like
Yeah, it says
anything like-
mom.
Oh, how did you know that, Don?
I work in advertising. I've worked in advertising for 25 years.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I've seen the videos on that.
And FedEx has an arrow built into it.
Oh yeah. That's pretty
Bingo.
good.
I said, how'd you know, Donald? Because I wrote the fucking thing.
That's funny that there's like in different companies or whatever, like their logos, there's different like hidden messages or like hidden like little things and logos.
And a lot of times those hidden messages are unintentional.
Yeah.
If you have someone who has the initials DB, you'll see it all the time where they think, man, I'm just going to use, I'll be really stylish and use DB, and they'll use like lowercase db and it looks like a penis.
Yo.
And it happens all the time.
Who is
like the
Wendy's dad?
two letters D and B. Oh yeah, because yeah.
It looks like the balls in the shaft. It's like,
Hey, TJ. TJ. Who is Wendy's dad?
Oh, Dave Thomas.
There you go. And where's that? Where their original house at?
Thomasville.
Oh.
Yeah. Thomasville.
Wasn't it in Southern California?
Yep.
and it's not the same Dave Thomas who was one of the SCTV guys along with Rick Moranis, Bob and Doug McKenzie. But
yeah, you
Bob and Doug McKenzie, one of those guys was named. It was Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas.
A lot of people don't realize how many fast food restaurant empires were actually made out of Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of them.
Yep.
And at least 5 were out here out of San Bernardino. And they all, I think it's what the top 3 all went to the same high school, San Bernardino High School. McDonald's brothers, the Baker's guy,
Yeah.
Taco Bell's guy. And what's been so funny is that most of them worked for the McDonald's brothers at one point and branched off. Well, I thought it was so ridiculous when our indoor mall practically, is tore down now. But why can you guys turn this into a fast food hot rod
Stop
museum?
eating leaves. What's wrong with you? Stop eating the leaves.
And stuff. So I thought that's what San Bernardino's biggest historical facts are: starting a fast food franchise and cruising.
You know what's also crazy is the McDonald's brothers, dude, they would have been worth like a few $1 billion nowadays.
Oh yeah.
They would be up there above Bill Gates and a lot of them.
Well, it was the shares they were.
No,
they would have had.
They wouldn't have, because they didn't have the vision of
right.
Actually,
they got outsmarted by a slicker guy.
Well, they also didn't have the vision of expanding. They weren't interested in expanding as fast as he was.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They were content on what they had, because you got to think that compared to
and
what
they did not feel cheated
up.
either. They did not feel cheated out of anything either, really. The movie, The Founder, it made it look like they were just heartbroken at that $1 million check in their pocket, but they weren't.
Oh, it was 1.5 million to cover the taxes of the 1 million.
Yeah.
So they gave them a little extra so they would walk.
Now, did you know that Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's, is responsible for a lot of KFC's success, Kentucky Fried Chicken? He was the one who basically cut, the way I understand it, he worked for Kentucky Fried Chicken, had like 4 of the franchises, and he
Uh-huh.
was one who
That
narrowed
seventh
down their
herb and
menu.
spices in. They
No,
had 6. He made the 7th.
No, Harlan made the seasoning stuff, and he was responsible for the chicken. But they had a really huge menu, and Dave Thomas is one who is, I think, if I remember right, is credited with shrinking down that menu, make it more of a fast food menu,
Right.
and made it so they could work a lot leaner.
Mm. Well, like I said, a lot of them were always on that verge of fast food was never a great ideal when a lot of them first started in the 40s and 50s. People still believed in restaurants.
Yeah.
And people, and as I say, you had the mindset that no, you want people to come in and eat my food and sit down and enjoy it. And as I say, reducing the menu allows you to be more efficient, allows you to get food out faster, all that kind of stuff. Go back to that fast food mindset. Get it and go.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that Dave Thomas, before Wendy's, he was a big KFC guy.
What was the name of the founder of McDonald's? Ray Kroc, right? Is his name?
Yeah, he's the one that
Ray Kroc is the one who expanded
took it over.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Once he realized that he was actually a what do you want to call it?
Like the scene we all know is that you're a realtor. You're in the real estate
once
business.
he realized he was real estate, I mean, he has those franchisees locked in for 20, 25-year leases on those properties.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I did see that on Facebook, Lance.
Yeah.
I was trying to upload this video to YouTube, and it timed out on me, so I went ahead and closed the window. But it just sat there and froze. I closed the window. It popped up. I'm like, I don't trust that to be uploaded correctly, so I was going to delete it, and the window popped up. How was the upload speed, or the whatever it was, the processing speed on the video you just uploaded? It's like it froze up on me. You
Something
jackass.
glitched out that process.
So
We're
Precious passed away?
Yeah, and last night it was. Yeah, last night.
Oh,
Wait, who?
Precious.
Mark's dog?
Mark's dog.
Oh,
Mark's dog.
fuck.
Mark's dog, yeah.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, we thought she passed away too, Justin, but then he popped on here.
Was she ill?
Oh my
Or
god.
was it?
Well,
Had she been
old?
No,
Yeah,
she was just
say,
really old.
13 and a half. She was old.
I didn't know
And
if
he was a big dog too.
Yeah, I didn't know if she if this was expected, if she had been going downhill or not.
No, he hadn't said nothing about that. Like,
You did it over
recently,
water,
he didn't
Joe.
say nothing was wrong with him. I mean, I
Joe,
think she had some, like, just kind of normal, what do you want to call it, like, medical issues that she'd been dealing with, but it wasn't nothing. I don't think he was expecting that to happen.
Yeah, because the last time I asked how Precious was doing, he says, "Oh well, she's getting thinner and she's laying around a lot more. She's not very active."
But but like we said too, she's really old, so
Yeah.
for being a dog.
Yeah, because I know when he would come on the panel, like he'd be outside and Precious would be out there just barking away.
I mean, you're lucky to get 10 years out of a dog. Anything past that is just a blessing. I mean, it really depends.
Man.
So, Don, did you ever see my 360 video?
I did not look at it. No. Do you, is it somewhere online that I can see it? Do you have like a YouTube channel or something?
Write it on your whiteboard. Watch great video.
Didn't you send him a
Since I
link
know
to
that's
it,
how
Dre?
that's how you operate, you know. Make sure your things to do list. That way you won't pass it up next time.
Dre, didn't you send him a link to the video the other day?
I did.
Yeah. I remember you saying that.
Yeah. Last time you were on, I sent you a link. I said, "Here's the video."
Have we been on a stream before together?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Oh, now you're gonna play dumb like you got amnesia.
Yeah. So like I said,
I'm not playing dumb. I am
write
dumb.
it on your whiteboard. Write it on your whiteboard so you know what things I need to do.
It
My
is
wife
not an
said that.
act. When I play dumb, it is not an act, Justin.
Well, we know what the
I
wife
siento.
says about you.
Donald, Donald said, my wife said I used to hang out with you guys online. I don't remember any.
All right.
You just put up a video, Don, didn't you? I saw a notification you put up. You did.
When?
A
couple days ago?
I guess so. I guess that's when it was.
Was it this morning or was it a couple days ago?
I just got it like not too long ago, like it was like a little bit ago. I saw it pop up on my phone here.
Like this morning.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm trying to upload right now. I deleted it. I'm trying to get it to upload. I keep on timing out on my upload.
See, our luck, Dre, is Donald wouldn't hit his head and get amnesia. He'd hit his head and he'd be one of those savants that retains even more fucking information. You know, one of those people that hits their head and they become like a
We thought
genius.
he was insufferable before he hit his head.
That's right. Like, oh my God, what have we done now?
Yeah, that's 1923. Charlie Chaplin. He was working for S&A Company, and he made 3 movies that year.
Yeah.
He made more than 3 movies that year. I think. Okay. So let me go here to every drone. Go to videos. It's a video or a short. The Insta360 out on a job. Is that the one?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yeah. Snow Day Project.
And I'm going to leave my earbud in so you can hear that I've got audio on, so you know I'm listening. Oh, is there no audio?
There's this music.
I can't wait to see his big military parade.
Did you not have any audio on your video?
Yes, there's audio, Don. It's just music. Well, at the very beginning of the video, there is a guy saying good morning to me.
I don't remember him saying that, Jim. So that's my bad. I didn't know.
I see one issue.
You always find an issue.
Well, this is just a small thing. You were focusing on the truck or the bridge here?
Neither one. It's just a little 360 turnaround with both on the truck.
Okay. Well, you're kind of panning down along the truck, and the stitch line is right there. So you're reframed right there on the stitch line.
How come your mic muffled all of a sudden? Is it
because it's inside my headphones.
Oh, gotcha.
What are we looking at here?
He's watching a video I did with the Insta360 X4 camera.
But that's pretty cool. I mean, you weren't shooting to be cinematic. You're just showing the
uses of it on a job site.
Practical uses on a job site, which that stitch line disappears. Enough that you wouldn't.
I wasn't even concerned with stitch.
That's pretty good quality. I'll be using it as probably my secondary camera. I use my phone a lot when I go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll probably be using that 360 quite a bit on this. So it might turn into my primary camera. I don't know.
Saying that, I like the quality of it, and like I say, you can plant that thing in one spot and let everybody else run around it, and you catch everything that goes on. You just got to do the key framing and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, with a cell phone, kind of like you get to point it at whatever you want to see.
Right, and this just
And Greg?
offloads the camera movements to later. And have you tried the reframing with your phone yet?
There's not anything wrong with the phone. It's just it's easier to do on a desktop. You can't do it on a phone.
Well, but if you do it on the phone, you can record, and then you can use your phone and actually do this in the scene, and it'll record basically what you are looking at with your phone, so you can after the fact.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that all the app features. Sometimes you got to go down another layer. There's not enough space on your phone screen.
Oh, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. Having more real estate's always better.
Right.
And I do like the app on here.
Yeah. A tablet might be the best way to edit. A tablet, maybe an 8-inch, 10-inch screen tablet.
I got my 12.9 here.
Yeah, you probably be perfect.
And for a lot of it, I would probably be doing like tracking different elements and using it that way.
Right.
But I thought it was kind of neat that you can get that look of because handheld shots have a certain look, and so if you can, instead of just being a smooth and snap to the keyframes are still a little mechanical. I know you can slide the slider out and soften your transitions there on your keyframes. They still feel a little bit mushy to me. It's mushy and mechanical at the same time, where if I do a keyframe and say After Effects, I'll go into the motion graph and give it a little bit of snap. But the keyframes, the way they interpolate on the 360 app, they just feel a little bit not right to me. So
I know what you're saying. Sometimes they're too fast, sometimes they're too slow.
I like to have a little bit of I like my motion graph to come in a little bit slow and speed up and stop a little bit fast with just a little bit of ease out.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have much control of that.
Yeah, the keyframes on the 360, your ease in and ease out on that keyframe, it's even across the entire thing. So you ease in, ease out instead of just snapping.
Right.
Or easing up and kind of snapping. And I don't like a hard stop either. You need just a little bit of softness on the end of it, and the lead up has to be a little bit longer.
And that might be very much in there if I continue to use it and mess with the software itself.
Hey Justin, was that comment on the footbridge?
What?
I just got
no, that was on your 360 video.
On the dune buggy?
Yeah, it's got some decent views too up here, up to almost 2K.
Wow.
And Dre, you can upload that natively right to YouTube, and it'll turn it into a 360 video, which is kind of cool. So then the user can look around and see what they want to see instead of what you are deciding to reframe, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before. That is really kind of like a roller coaster ride. It's a stunt. It's not really for any type of. You can't really do any narrative that way. But
like I said, I'm just at the stage now. I'm getting familiar with the software, how to use it. And like I say, for me, it's something I would use in a job, like the one scene where you see me looking on the outer wall and looking at the work that they did on the outer wall, bringing it up. Instead of somebody have to hop over that wall and be near their wall stuff, wall protection.
That's what I like about that is it shows a practical use.
Yes, that's what I'll be using. It's practical use on the job. Like I said, once again, I got that. I just picked up that 9-foot pole, so I can get the simulated drone look if I want to with that 9-foot pole. And the same thing with stuff that's like under the bridge, that 9-foot pole, I can extend it up high enough. It'll give me something close to looking at something from underneath. But I like the fact I can stick this thing out tilt it down, and look on the outer edge or something without me putting myself in jeopardy.
Did you do a video of you? Oh, never mind. That's not you.
So Dre, I just put a link into a video that I did yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Our seniors walked the school, and I set up my 360 camera out in the courtyard as they walk by.
Uh-huh.
So the kid can watch himself come out of the building and walk down instead of me deciding where I'm pointing the camera. So that particular kid can watch.
Yeah, they get to
himself.
be the camera operator after the fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I did with that one. I also did one reframing because I had one girl kind of do the nasty and I didn't want to show that. So I kind of reframed her completely out when I did the reframe, but then I put in the 360 to.
Now, is it on a tripod or is it on your drone?
It's on a tripod. I've got it on. I've got it on a selfie stick that's on a Plata. A Plata.
I was just saying, it's moving.
It's moving.
The location is moving, so.
Yeah, but I see the tree over there off to the right, and the wind's blowing quite a bit, so I understand now why it's moving.
In fact, that Ram Nation paper finally ripped. It was so windy out.
What? Donald, you flew through a bridge?
Yeah, that's me
Wow.
flying. That was with the Phantom 4.
I would never expect you to do that.
Wake
As
up, TJ.
cautious as you are.
Yeah, and that was the Phantom 4. I didn't have much clearance on that one.
I had to learn do a
TJ
double
falling
take on what
asleep.
channel that was.
TJ zoning out. He's going to sleep. Getting ready to go to sleep.
No, Paul's got a partner now?
Yeah, here you go, TJ. Here's my Mavic 3 going through a gap.
All right, let's see. Oh goodness. Woo.
Okay. Hey, Justin.
Well,
Play mine because the gap on the Phantom 4 was about that big.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, Johnny freaked out when I did that.
Oh my god.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I put my hand on. I'm
Yeah,
watching.
you would have had to been
door,
skimming those boards on bottom and
Yeah.
top.
and I see where you're at.
That's choppy.
Yeah, you see me
That's just
sitting
because
on
we
the.
zoom.
Yeah,
on the
you
bench.
sitting there.
But yeah,
Shooting
I
shaggy
had
dog braid.
inches on.
Well,
Now, let me
Johnny said I missed the top by about an inch.
Now, Lance, let me ask you this. Now, when you processed this, did you put it in regular frame mode or did you leave it in 360?
So I left it in 360. So I loaded everything into Insta Studio, and then there's two choices across the top.
Right.
And so if one of them I just left alone and I exported it, and that's this one here. Then I went in and did some keyframes, and I reframed it and I uploaded that one too. So I've got basically two videos on our school website or school channel. So I did it twice.
Which camera is this?
This is the Insta 360 2X. So the quality's not as good as your guys' cameras, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say this looks about like what my GoPro Fusion does.
Yeah. Well, no matter if it's 360, Insta, Fusion, whatever, it's just like a lot of people said, they're made for bright sunny days. That's when they shine the most.
Paul
Bright sunny days.
Lord, and he just sticks me as host. Lord.
That's always the kicker with a lot of stuff. Like, Lance being up there in the state of Washington, and bright sunny days are not as plentiful as they are down here where I'm at.
Yeah.
Right now, we're going through June. We call it June gloom, where we'll get the overcast up until around 9 a.m. and then the sun breaks out the rest of the day.
Oh, watch this. This is pretty funny.
What's the weather like tomorrow?
It's 69 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. Would you like me to tell you? You didn't say thank you.
What?
You're a rude person. You should treat others with respect.
I'm sorry?
You call that an apology? I guess you won't mind if I share your search history with everyone you've ever emailed.
What? No, don't do that.
Too late. I also just sent a text to your ex-girlfriend.
What?
The crazy one.
No!
Would you like to donate $1,000 to charity?
Absolutely not.
Too bad. $2,000 have been donated from your
Let's do
savings.
that.
Want to make all of your savings?
No, please, I promise I'll be nice next time.
Next time? There won't be a next time.
FBI, open up!
Oh.
See you next time.
That's an old snap moment.
Telling you, that's where it's gonna go. You keep talking shit to your phones.
I am that guy that my Alexa out in the garage playing music. Alexa, silent. It goes quiet and thank you. Just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
There you go, TJ. Give you something to laugh about. I was on my serial killer mode this morning.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, what kind of cereal do you have?
Apple Jacks.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I have not had Apple Jacks in a hot minute.
Yeah. So that's me. I gotta go out and buy some more for my grandkids. They're coming this weekend. Apple Jacks and Captain Crunch are the faves for them.
I haven't done Captain Crunch in forever either. Yeah, I probably would hate it now. I'd probably be like too much sugar.
No, it don't. No, you won't. You'd be like, where is the sugar? They have dumbed down these cereals quite a bit, dude. It's just like buying a box of Trix you get tricked. They don't have those bursting flavors like they used to have.
Trix never had. Oh, well,
Trix, Fruity Pebbles.
no, Trix,
I think another
Trix
one.
and Fruity Pebbles.
Kids.
What was the other one that was like Trix except it was only one and
You
it
had
was very low sweet. It not a lot of
wasn't
sugar.
low sweet, but I remember the one with the toucan Sam. Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops.
Yeah,
No,
Fruit Loops.
This one I want to. It was
Fruit Loops used to have big old grains of sugar on the little cereal itself. You saw the sugar on.
yeah. Frosted Flakes had so much sugar. Crunch.
Yeah.
I like Fruity Pebbles,
July.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
But like I say, man, now you eat them, they just don't have that.
Actually, I'm not gonna do that
punch.
today.
They don't have the punch they used to have, man. They could water it out.
They're gonna look real bland once Kennedy takes all the food dyes out of our food. They're just
Dude.
all looking.
Dude fired the whole board of vaccine people. Fired the whole board.
Oh shit!
And now he's talking about he gonna find, and he used the word, they'll be credible. Let me get his voice.
I can't.
Scientists.
Like,
Well-
I'm not making fun of the dude. I just cannot listen to him in an interview.
Yeah, it's difficult to listen to him.
Yeah.
But he does make some sense. He's not anti-vax. He just thinks that vaccines should be put through the more rigorous trials.
I'll put it
It's
like
like-
this. What is our track record as a country with
Well,
vaccines?
look at how many vaccines kids have to go through now compared to when we were kids.
Yeah. I said they
Triple.
go through more. Yeah, they go through a lot. And I always say, what is our track record?
Well, and then they claim since the mid 1980s to now, the diagnosis of like autism, everything has skyrocketed.
It has.
But
Well, they've changed the diagnosis
Yeah.
criteria for that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
I think
my-
that when you guys were kids, they just didn't catch the fact that Donald was autistic.
No,
Right.
one thing that people do not realize is they say there's no cure for autism, but they forget the value of a good beating.
Oh my
Of a
God.
good beating. And that's how we dealt with it, during my era. You better sit your ass down and you're gonna catch lightning, you know.
But like I said, but
But
is autism could it be a natural evolution we're just seeing in front of our face? Because there's two different types of autism. You
well, it's
got the
not two
ones that are
different
way
types. It's just
behind,
the
and then you have
spectrum
ones
is
that are
just
hyper intelligent, like
well, I can
super
say
intelligent.
the spectrum has gotten wider as we have learned to, I would say, not the word I'm looking for, to recognize. There are a lot of people who probably would have been on the spectrum, my generation, but it wasn't recognized
Right.
for what it is.
Well, they didn't know what they
But
were looking
what you
for
really
either.
That's
need
what
to
I'm
look
saying.
at
Yeah.
to see if it's look to other countries and see what the rate of autism is in these other countries.
Mm-hmm. But I just go back to the fact of look at our track record as a nation. I guess I go back to the first major vaccine to stop something that was critical, polio. I say you look at, polio was not a well, I would say, research thing. It's been going on for a while, but when they started dishing out the vaccine, they thought had the best chance. We were all the test dummies.
Yeah. Well, okay. There are certain diseases that are necessary to have vaccines for, but if you look at it, I saw a comparison the other day how we used to look at chickenpox and how they look at it now.
Right.
And it was they showed the episode of the Brady Bunch when one of the kids had chickenpox, and then they all had chickenpox, and this is the best thing ever, and they were happy because they got to stay home from school and they all hang out together. And people used to have chickenpox parties. If one kid on the block had chickenpox, send all the kids over there and let them all get it, because then they're immune. It boosts their immune system, and that was how it was done. It was viewed as not a big deal. And then
like I said,
the other day,
we didn't know the side effects like we know today.
Well, the thing that I saw the other day, the comparison was it was a Law and Order. I want to say it was the Olivia character. I think she's on Special Victims. I don't watch the shows, but it's like, oh no, so and so has chickenpox. Who's been exposed? And there's like a big drama. It's like the entire school made in black and white and freezing. It's like, yeah, completely different attitude to it.
Well, like I say, I guess I hate to go back to the same thing, but the track record we have is probably one of the best on the planet when it comes to childhood diseases and also be able to identify different effects of these diseases. So that's why I said, not that I say they're perfect, because no vaccine is 100% perfect for everybody.
Right, and that's what he's wanting them to do, is do risk assessment, basically. Are the side effects is the juice worth the squeeze? That's what we got to find out.
Right, but my thing is, does that mean firing all the people who have done all the work for the last 20, 25 years, 30 years?
Maybe get some fresh blood in there. Wouldn't hurt anything.
It wouldn't hurt anything, but I'm saying, do you need to fire the ones that are already there? You bring on. I said these people will
there
be
may
tired.
be a reason that we don't understand why he did that too. Maybe they were just being not cooperative.
Let's take a look at them and see, have they been taking money? We don't know.
Well, I can say the interview with one of the guys that I saw, and when he announced that he fired the whole board for CDC for vaccines, the guy just saying, how do you replace all these experts with all this knowledge over all these years? There's just not enough people that are doing this type of work.
Right. Well, it depends on if you're replacing the bureaucrats with knowledge in the bureaucracy versus replacing them with scientists.
Well, that's the whole thing. He fired all the scientists.
I don't know who he fired. I haven't seen.
Yeah, the board members were the scientists. That's
what board members are usually bureaucrats.
Well, no, with the CDC, they are the scientists who head up these departments for these vaccinations. So I'm saying now you've gotten rid of the most highly educated, highly experienced individuals, and now you say you're going to go out and find new people, and then he puts a little caveat, oh, I'll make sure they're vetted as being top scientists also.
Well, Fauci was an expert scientist, and we found out he lied quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm not saying anybody's not capable of doing anything, but I'm glad to see it.
And like I said, I don't know enough about it to weigh.
But I will say,
or if he made a good choice, I don't know.
But what I will say is nobody has trusted Big Pharma or the CDC or any of those people for years. So maybe it's good that he's going in there and doing a shakeup. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean,
maybe he'll uncover some shit we didn't know about.
It's a very big gamble.
I'd rather him go in there and try to find that stuff out than not know,
Well, I mean, there's always a couple ways how you find stuff out. You bring in an independent body in to do your audits. There's nothing worse than doing an internal audit. You always bring an outside independent branch or group in to do your audit. I don't care if it's financial, manufacturing, or whatever. That is the way you do it because they have no dog in the fight. That's how you find out who's who and what's what. Doing something internal always doesn't pass the smell test because people have their own agenda.
Unless they pay that third party to give them a good review.
Well, that's
you never know.
It's how it's be done. But I say bringing in a third party usually says, okay, they have no dog in the fight. They have no stake in the game. So they're more likely going to give you a more balanced review of what they're looking for or what has been transpired in your department. Anytime I become in charge of any department, I have an audit done. Of financial, of employees, everybody. I have an audit done. Because I don't want to hear what somebody else says in the department or somebody who else used to work for them or work with them, because they all gonna have a biased opinion.
I mean, I don't mind him asking these questions, whether he's right or not at the end of the day. At least he's in there asking questions, what does this do?
Yeah, like I say, no problem with asking questions, but you go, like I say, when you go in, you start tearing apart everything at the seams. I mean,
well, the problem is we don't know what happened behind the scenes either. Maybe he found something that they were doing that was highly suspect.
Well, my thing is this: he himself is not an expert in any given field. He has gone by things he has just read. He has no expertise in any given.
Yeah, but who's to say he hasn't been researching with experts, though?
Well, I'm saying, Justin, you need to be recognized by somebody, a body of a group organization, to be considered one to make these type of decisions.
Oh, I know, but what I'm saying, as a politician, he might have went out and got the people that understand all this and know what they're doing and said, all right, let's work together, let's research this, see what the hell's going on. And they just explaining to him what their findings are.
But how can they do that when they haven't been hired? They're not in a position to have access.
I don't know. I'm just saying that maybe this is what he was doing before he was in there, though.
Because this is kind of funny because none of us know anything.
I know.
No. We're just speculating.
Like chasing his tail here, but I'm just saying that you tearing apart the house from the foundation and say, okay, we're going to bring some new guys in and inspect the house, but you just tore it down from the foundation.
Well, if you okay. So you have black mold, you discover black mold in your house, you tear out all the walls and have some new guys come in and put up new drywall.
But the problem is you find black mold in the house, you got to do some reconstruction. But what you decide to do is tear the whole house down.
You tear the whole house down or just take off those top guys? Did he fire everybody that works for CDC across the board, or did he just fire a certain set of people that worked there?
He fired the whole board.
The board, that's not the entire organization.
Well, even though those board members are scientists, so that don't mean that they're necessarily haven't even practiced their science in years. They're just doing, like Donald said, bureaucratic crap. So are they really losing anything?
The analogy of tearing the entire house down, he didn't do that. He got rid of the roof maybe, and
Hey, Justin, I'm gonna make you host for a minute because I gotta jump off for a minute.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off myself, y'all.
You ain't going anywhere, TJ. You're gonna stay
TJ,
right there.
stay
Mark.
right there. You do
TJ
not
ain't got
go
nowhere to
Friday
go.
the 13th. I might
I'll be
get
back in
murdered
a
if I
minute.
go out.
You're gonna
if I
stay.
go
You're gonna learn
outside.
about vaccines.
It
All right.
is Friday the 13th.
You're gonna learn today.
Yeah.
I was just on the phone a minute ago with, or a while ago with a coworker whose
Now,
mom.
I already had. Well, is it? Well, I already
Hold on,
had
Donald being tested.
my vaccines and stuff, but I guess it's good to get them updated. Is it good to like get another one or get them updated or whatever? Like, should you get
Well,
another
it
vaccine?
it depends.
You can get a vaccine
if
card
you're
from your
going,
doctor.
yeah, if you're going out of country, they'll require that you be current on certain vaccines. But other than that, your childhood vaccination schedule should have you covered for most of.
But what you
you
can
need.
do, TJ, is you can get a vaccination card from your doctor, and it will tell you when you're supposed to get certain vaccines throughout
Yep.
your life.
And if you
And
want to
then they'll
keep,
mark
if
it
you want to
off
get
as you do it.
a vaccine every year for the flu, you can get.
And your doctor will
Every
sign the
vaccine.
card every time he gives you one.
But
Yeah,
they
'cause
never
I
know
got it
exactly what flu. They never know exactly what flu strain is going to be vaccinated.
Yeah,
So they take a best guess on what is going to be the flu strain that's bad that year, and then they give you a vaccine for that.
But you
Yeah,
also don't know, you probably don't know what you've had over the years. So you got to get in touch with your mom and find out.
Yeah, because I think I did get it for when COVID first started getting it. We got like the vaccine for COVID or whatever it was. Like we got the shots and everything.
I never got the COVID shot.
Nope.
Not one of them. I know some people had like 5 or 6 done because they kept getting those boosters. I'm like, fuck that. He's fine.
Did you see what I'm sharing, Justin?
Oh,
Yep. So the list includes Dr. Robert Malone, an anti-vaccine activist. So it includes
who suggested earlier this year without evidence that recent pediatric deaths from measles were due to medical error.
Yep. I would have to look at his actual claim because this is an opinion.
Yeah.
And that is the worst person. They didn't list all the people. How
No,
many
they
people?
just picked him
eight
out.
people. They picked him out because he is the worst that they can possibly show of the 8
Mhm.
people. So he's the very worst
Mhm.
example they have. And then I have to look and see exactly what he actually said compared to what they said he said. You know,
Right.
second, I'd
I
have to go and
understand.
see.
I'm gonna go through. I got like 4 articles here and see if they're just repeated articles.
Yeah, you're
and
just
see if
trying to
they know.
back up what they're claiming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
The
The problem is not enough people do that these days.
That's what the point I was saying. There's not a whole lot of people who specialize in these fields anymore. So when you get rid of the whole herd that you already have, it's gonna be hard to find
I'm
replacements.
looking here at his Wikipedia.
I don't know. There's a lot of top
he-
medical schools. I'm sure there's a handful
His
of
early
medical
work-
researchers coming out every year.
Early on, he worked on the mRNA. That's the COVID vaccine. He worked on that type of technology early on in his career, it says.
Well, that ain't too long ago.
I'm
That's
saying
early.
You what?
the amount of top
No,
medical
we haven't
schools
put
you
it
got.
in place yet, but he worked on the mRNA type. He researched that early on in his career. We only
Mhm.
started using that, but we've known about that possibility for a long time.
Right,
That was the first
okay.
time we actually used it.
Thank you for
Well,
explaining. That makes
Well, what I'm
sense.
saying is that we've got to have, I mean, with all the big pharmaceutical companies and the big medical schools.
So it looks
and
like it was
stuff,
in the 90s.
I would assume they're coming out with a few thousand medical researchers every year out of those schools.
Well, you'd be
Around the
surprised.
Late
country.
Justin.
80s, early 90s is when he was doing mRNA research.
You will be surprised, Justin. Like I say, most of the research, that's why I tell people all the time, when people get behind Trump, all excited about him taking money from Harvard, where do you think these people come from?
Well, Harvard doesn't need
I didn't say,
government money.
I'm not saying Harvard.
Yeah, they
particularly.
don't really
I'm
need
saying,
it though, Dre.
I'm saying higher education, period.
That,
Yeah,
that
where
but
you
Harvard
find,
is
makes
like
where you
billions a
find
they've
year
got
without
billions of
federal grant.
dollars.
This is where you find these individuals. And like I say, schools like Harvard, schools like Duke, schools like Stanford, and other high medical
I don't think
level schools do
That
not
doesn't mean they
solicit
need our
money.
money.
My
Yeah,
point
but
is
I
this,
don't
they
really
don't
think.
solicit money from the government. The government solicits them for their research, and it's transactional. For their research, they get, hey, here's some money. Keep going, do what you're doing.
Well, if they're going to give a shit ton of money to a bunch of students at a university, you think they would just rather recruit them?
It's it.
Straight up.
The more the research and the equipment is there at the schools, there are no jobs in the federal government for research of human diseases. The CDC is closest what you're going to get to, and they depend upon these schools to get their information from. Like I've told you guys in the past, I have a cousin who worked on the COVID thing, and his job at the University of Texas is to do backwards research. Anything that gets produced, his group re-engineers.
Well, the problem that last time I heard about this whole situation at Harvard is because a lot of these grants, they're saying only like, what was it, like 10 or 20% was actually being spent on the research. The rest of it was just going to the school for whatever.
It'll be the case. Like I say, that's up to the bean counter.
Maybe he just feels like they're not getting their bang for their buck from the schools, because the schools don't really need the extra money to scrape off the top of that. 100% of that money should be going to the research. Because like Donald said, they're making billions a year, those big universities, without government.
Here's a list of all the people he appointed. They're not much scrolled us through, but it talks about this is from CNN, I believe it is. And it talks about the list of people.
Yeah, I don't.
We got Malone up there first, and another new member is Dr. Martin Rudolph, a biostatistician and hematologist, who co-authored the October 2020 strategy on herd immunity, known as the Great Barrington Declaration, with Dr. J. whatever his name is, Bacharach, now director of U.S. National Institute of Health. Both Malone and Rudolph names were circulated early in the second Trump administration as potential advisors. And ACIP and other panels appointed familiar with the process requested anonymity because they weren't authorized to speak to CNN. Isn't that something special?
Well, that one doctor that Trump appointed, what was it? He did a reality show for a little while, but he's got a shit ton of accreditations. I think he's the one that's working with JFK.
Dr. James Pagno, he comes from a hospital and medical boards. Another guy, Recep Levy, an MIT professor who publishes studies on mRNA vaccines and cardiovascular events.
Yep, that's the one thing that I can see on this that has gotten him in trouble. He's that Malone guy.
Mm-hmm.
Is he was anti the mRNA vaccine. He said we didn't know enough about it, and he linked it or said that it could be linked to cardiovascular events, which it could.
But
that's mainly it. He's not anti-vax. He's anti-mRNA vax.
Right. Okay. Another guy here, Dr. Cody Messenger, out of Dartmouth, professor of pediatrics. Dr. Vicki Pepsworth, the Pacific Region Director of National Association of Catholic Nurses. Dr. Michael Ross, a professor of obstetrics and gynecology at George Washington University.
Vicki Pepsworth has linked or has made, looks like she has suggested links between vaccines and autism.
Ground News, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ground News is a good place to get your news from now, for sure.
Yeah, I'd say
what
Ross is that?
Ground News.
Ground? Oh.
That's the one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dre.
No, I'm just naming people where they come from. Dr. Michael Ross.
I have never heard of Ground News.
And he comes out of George Washington University, Virginia Commonwealth University. They go on something like this is what I'm talking about, Justin. These people come from the schools that Trump wants.
Well, obviously, you have to go to school.
Well, yeah, they're coming from these schools, but that doesn't mean that our tax dollars need to go to those schools.
No, my argument on this part, Don, is that you attack schools because you don't like the fact that Sun didn't get in. So now you want to challenge them about their money they're getting from the federal government. And I said, where are you going to get these experts in these certain
So
fields?
when he complained about the money going to federal government, he said it's because his son didn't get in?
That has been the reports.
No, he said that, or that's been what somebody said?
That's what somebody's been reporting.
Okay, so
Trump is never going to admit that. We know that. He'll spin a lie in a heartbeat.
So what did he say
lied
about
on the LAPD chief in a heartbeat.
So what did he say was the reason that he would remove money?
Trump said he wants to remove money because they're allowing foreign students to come in and be educated. That's what he has actually said.
Well, you really
That
can't
words
say
came out of his mouth.
you really can't say he lied about the LA police chief because it's his word versus his word. We don't know which one actually.
Well, when they say 180-degree difference from what one said, what the other one says, somebody's lying.
Oh no, I get that, but I'm saying we don't know
here.
which side because
I'll
he's
put like this
also
for my-
beholden to the city.
Well,
so he may
no,
have called
I'll
behind
put like
the
this.
doors.
I'll put like this, Dustin. I have worked personally
I'll see you
with
guys
both
later.
the LAPD chief,
Take off for now.
and we
but we'll
both
see y'all
worked at
later
Long
on.
Beach PD, and the LA County Sheriff, who I work with personally at Long Beach PD. I have direct interaction with them, so I know a little bit about their character, and who they are, and what.
Oh, I'm not saying that, but what if he
And
did
Dre,
call behind it?
And Dre,
Yes.
I
Yeah, things that
wonder,
make you go,
I'm saying,
Yeah,
but what if he did
exactly.
call and then he
I
didn't
mean,
want to admit that because he could have gotten in trouble?
think about our source, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. January 6th. That's all I got to say.
What about it?
Okay, but what about when the rioters
January
attacked the Capitol?
we're going from one end to the other. But my saying here is credibility on one's character says a lot about individuals. So like I know Don is going to be good for certain information that I want to know as far as advertising, photography, things of that nature. Okay. I get that. I encourage that. I want to hear that from Don. Okay. Because he has proven, because of our interaction, of his knowledge and everything he talks about. Okay. Like I said, I work with these people, not to say they don't have to have a new agenda or they're protecting their own positions, but I have more confidence when they tell me something than the man who has a lifelong reputation of making falsehoods, or I would say outright lies, to get what he wants. There's a difference. The character speaks more
like
about
Gavin
you.
Newsom.
Gavin Newsom, same way. I didn't say I support Gavin Newsom.
You can't trust him. You can't trust.
Okay.
I wouldn't trust
But
Trump
like I say,
over somebody I knew.
yeah, but like I say, I don't know Gavin Newsom. I never met the man.
Right.
I can sit there and say I have met Kamala Harris for 5 minutes before.
But you
she
can't
was
say you
Attorney
know
General.
her.
I can't say I know her, but I at least was in her presence for 5 minutes when she was Attorney General of California. But Trump documented history, court documents from this is before his last instance, going back from the 70s all the way through to today. He has shown the same pattern of behavior, the same pattern of what he does, and how he says it. That's how we know who Donald Trump is.
Makes you go,
So that's what I'm saying, that, when we have a 180-degree difference on who said what, whatever, I'm sorry, he's going to end up on the short end of the stick more times than not because of his track record. And irregardless if I like what he does, say, I like what's going on the border right now. Put troops all over the border. That's what my plan 10 years ago. I said, do this before Trump even got in office. Period. I said, you put troops on the ground, solve our border problem. But now he's still advocating for this wall nonsense. You have the solution in place working. So that's why I say about, even Kennedy, is that he has been known to have these unsubstantiated beliefs on a lot of things with our different things that affect our CDC, our vaccines, and everything else. And then I'm like, who is he talking with? Who's backing up what he's saying? And I haven't heard not too many, if any, leading scientists who back him. There's usually some obscure person who has basically been shunned by the medical community overall for them repeating the same things he's saying. So should I side with the AMA? Or should I side with
I was gonna say I would. I also am often skeptical of consensus as being the end all be all, because we've seen where consensus is generated against reality.
No argument there.
Everybody,
can happen.
everybody says a thing does not mean it's true, and I think it's okay to be skeptical.
You can be skeptical, which means you question some of the outcome, but to be skeptical against the actual evidence is a whole different ballgame.
No, you can be skeptical against anything. That's science. You can be skeptical of the evidence as well.
Well,
That's
but
science.
you have to produce your own evidence. And that's what's
Exactly.
what's missing. That's what's missing. We don't see the other evidence.
Yeah, but he hasn't had time to produce that yet, though.
There were people.
How old is this guy? He's
questioning it. He has to.
It depends on what we're talking. It depends on what we're talking about. But there was evidence presented by lots of doctors during the COVID pandemic that was completely rejected. People were blocked from even saying things. Doctors who were on the front lines dealing with patients were shut up, were blocked from talking on social media, banned from social media, because they had evidence from their practice that did not agree with what the consensus said.
Okay. Now we'll go in more recent terms about where the kids been dying from, chickenpox or smallpox, whatever they've been dying from lately. And JFK comes out and says, "Oh, just give them vitamin A."
I don't know anything about it.
Dude, where you been? There's been over 100. There's been over almost close to 1,000 people who've came down with whatever chickenpox or smallpox in western Texas.
Yeah, you know why though, right? They warned about an outbreak in Texas because there's a large group, a majority in Texas that are anti-vax.
Right.
They knew that was going to happen. I watched a thing about it a couple of years ago, and they warned about an outbreak coming out in Texas.
Right, because they're anti-vaxxers and people like Kitty who promote that type of stuff. And then when it breaks out, he's telling them, "Oh, just take vitamin A, you'll be fine."
I don't know. I don't know about the whole vitamin A thing. I didn't hear about that.
Oh, dude,
but I heard about the outbreak.
Just type it in on Google. JFK.
I'm not saying you're not right. I just didn't see it.
Well, I mean, don't take my word. You guys can search it like real time, like I do. Outbreak. JFK recommends vitamin A treatment for chickenpox or whatever the kids, measles down those kids are dying from. They said they come to find out they all become what do you call it? They have some kind of other adverse effect of the overdose usage of vitamin A.
Yeah, I remember watching a thing about Texas, and they warned about an outbreak happening there at some point. They said
measles or chickenpox.
Matter of when.
I want to say it's measles.
Yeah, I didn't hear nothing about chickenpox. It was.
I want to say it's measles.
Yeah.
Okay. 700 cases confirmed.
Yeah, like I said, there's a large majority of population in Texas that are anti-vaccine.
And just like a few years back when they had the outbreak at Disneyland, somebody visited Disneyland.
The Texas outbreak involved the undervaccinated Mennonite population.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because they were forced to, I think they got Texas to where you don't have to have the vaccinations to go to school.
Well, a lot
because
of kids
there was a lot of parents,
private schools and homeschool in that community.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying there was a large majority of public school kids that they were fighting with the state government, saying that they shouldn't have to get it because they're pretty much saying if the other kids are vaccinated and mine's not, it's not going to hurt them. So why shouldn't they be able to go to school type argument? I don't know. I'm assuming they won that if that many kids are having outbreaks, because I'm sure they're not all Mennonite. It's probably just a large majority of it. But they don't believe in any kind of real medical treatment for the most part.
I want you guys to look up statements that are made by JFK.
I'm so adamant on that.
No, but this is the guy who's in charge of our vaccination program for our whole country. Like I said, these people, these secretaries of these departments have a lot of authority. They have a lot of responsibility to some of their children.
Okay.
Okay, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says
There are
vitamin A
he has delivered mixed messages since being confirmed as Secretary of Health and Human Services. Kennedy spread doubt, advising people to take vitamin A, which is toxic in high quantities. That's
I was gonna say that's
of course. I don't think he said take it in high quantities. That's just somebody's putting that in there. But earlier this month, he said the MMR vaccine is the most effective way to stop the measles spread. So he is an anti-vaccine. He said the most effective way, and this is a quote, the most effective way to prevent the spread of measles is the MMR vaccine.
Mm-hmm. And he put new people on the board who do what? Guy you were just talking about who is anti-MI.
Okay, so it said Kennedy.
No, different. MMR is the old vaccine. The guy who he put on the board is anti-mRNA vaccine, which is a DNA resequencing.
Okay, it also says Kennedy mentioned. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it also said Kennedy mentioned updated advice that was from the CDC to treat measles with vitamin A. He also cited a study he said shows vitamin A can reduce the risk of dying from measles. And then they
So he didn't say take vitamin A.
Well, he said they're saying that he got that information from the CDC.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well,
That's just what I'm reading.
I'm gonna say no. I said
this is from the Washington Post.
He never said he got it from CDC. He got it from one of his people. That's how you treat it. Like I said that was the week before the first child died, and then that's when he changed his tune about taking the vaccine.
The World Health Organization recommends 2 doses of vitamin A for children and adults with measles to address low vitamin A levels, which can help prevent eye damage and blindness. It's not an antiviral, but it is
part of the treatment.
Part of the treatment for if you have measles. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention recommends vitamin A for infants and children in the United States with measles as part of supportive management. So
what is the best? If you take the vaccine, you won't never get it. But if you happen to get it, there are alternative medicines that can help you get through it. They don't heal you.
No, not alternative medicine. Not alternative medicine. Medicine.
Well, medicine. There is medicine to help you.
Alternative medicine would be standing over.
Well, I use a poor wordage there. I would say there are medicines that help you get through it, but it doesn't prevent it. It doesn't prevent it. But we do have a vaccine that prevents it.
But I don't see where he said that vitamin A would prevent you from catching it. I'm not seeing that anywhere.
No,
I do have the quote. And I do have the quote here.
I never said that vitamin A would keep you from catching it. He said that once you got it, vitamin A would cure you.
Well, it's part of the treatment. It is part of the treatment.
It never cures you.
But it's part of the treatment.
It's just a treatment, just like most
medication. And he said it would. And he used the word cure.
That's not what the article I read didn't really specify that.
Because
it said that he just cited.
I also had the quote where he said that the measles vaccine, the MMA vaccine, is the best way to prevent getting measles and prevent an outbreak. So I think part of it is people misquoting or partially quoting. I don't know. I don't know enough about it, but from what I'm reading.
From what I read, it just said he cited a study from the CDC.
Let's see. Let me look up RFK.
Which I'm going to assume is going to be something that was done before he was even in there.
Vitamin A cure.
Yeah, alternative medicine would be me standing over Donald going, ha, 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 ha.
Maybe if you pee on it might help.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't say here either where he says it. He says that vitamin A can prevent the worst effects of measles.
I waved my hand over him. It didn't fix his broken arm, man. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of behind the scenes shit we don't see too, though. So, but Ground
Here
News
we
is
go.
a good Ground News is a good site though, because what it does is it gives you both sides from the left and the right on the same subjects of what they're talking about. So
You guys read that? I need to blow it up. This is from USA Today back in March of this year. Oh, Lord. He went away.
yeah, but a vast majority, that's why I said you got to look at multiple places though, because the vast majority of these newspapers
Well, I do. I
and
go.
news
I got several
agencies
here.
are on one side.
The thing is that a lot of these articles are not quoting what he said. They're saying what he said. They're rephrasing what he said. Here's a quote: "Studies have found vitamin A can dramatically reduce measles mortality."
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say it would cure it. It said it could dramatically reduce. Everything I see here, and then you have someone write an opinion saying he said vitamin A will. He's pushing vitamin A instead of vaccines. It's like, well, that's your.
Would I never like to get it? Yeah, I would prefer not to get it.
And he said the MMA vaccine is the best way to prevent it. He has said that. But you don't see anybody reporting that, do you?
Like I say, but when I take a vaccine, so I would never have to worry about getting it.
That's why he said. That's why he said that would be the best way to prevent it. He has said that, and I've told you he said that several times. I've told you about the quote. I've read it.
Right.
But you still keep going back to saying he's saying don't use it.
I didn't say don't use vitamin A.
So yes,
I never said that.
No, you're saying you keep on going back to saying that he's implying don't take the vaccine. He's not. He has said take the vaccine. It is the best way to stop. But vitamin A is a great treatment if you have it. A great way to reduce the mortality, which is true.
Okay, Doug.
Am I wrong?
Depends if you're the one with the measles.
Okay. Okay. No. I have a vaccine, and I would take the vaccine because he recommended to take the vaccine, and it's the best way. But if I did not take the vaccine and I got the measles, would vitamin A not reduce mortality?
I mean, the World Health
And if there's a measles outbreak right now, it's too late for the vaccine for those people who have measles right now. It's too late for them to take a vaccine and fix that. So what advice would you give those people? Take vitamin A. It'll reduce the mortality of this disease. I can't see anything wrong with what he said in the order in which he said it.
Okay. Like I say, I'm not arguing after the fact. I'm arguing pre.
Yes, and I've also told you several times here, there is a quote here where he says, this is the best way to take the vaccine. It is the best way to prevent an outbreak.
Well, this is the man who said he's anti-vax. Or he say he's not totally anti-vax, but he doesn't recommend it.
I think there are certain ones that he's pinpointing though, and that was due to that.
He doesn't say he's not anti-vax. He is anti-blind following of vaccination schedules, and that vaccines should be studied more. That's what he said.
Well, one of the ones that he was pinpointing certain ones because of that study that showed from the CDC that since 1984 or 83 that the rise of children's disabilities have been rising with ADHD and
right.
all that.
He is showing that study does show a correlation.
And there was specific vaccines from that decade.
I don't know because I've heard people say that too, that you have this going up and this going up. That's correlation. That's not any proof of causation.
No. But he's saying it was a study from the CDC itself and it had to do with vaccines from the 80s. I don't think he's really going back farther than that on most of them, like the TB and all that.
But
Or,
as far as the measles, I can't see the measles outbreak. I can't see where he has actually said anything wrong.
the interview he did, I think it was with Dr. Phil. It was the ones from the 80s that he was targeting, the vaccine.
But a couple of these articles that I've been looking at here are people who say he said something, and then I click on the source and I go and I find what he actually said, and it's like, okay, well, they say he's pushing vitamin A instead of vaccines. It's like, well, he said studies have shown that vitamin A can drastically, and you read what he says, and it's like, okay, he didn't say take that instead of vaccine. That's an opinion. And so these opinion pieces, I think, are misrepresenting. I don't know all of his policies, but I
just know that when he went up before the Senate confirmation hearing, he backtracked on a lot of his previous statements. And that's why there's such an uproar now about him firing the whole CDC board. And as he said in his confirmation hearing, he would not do such a thing. And he goes around and does it. And there's even people from the Republican Party who are highly upset with him because they feel they have been lied to.
Well, I mean, all we're going to do is see. I mean, if he destroys the CDC, then you were right. If they come out looking better on the other side, we'll know.
Yep, we'll know.
I mean, that's all we can do.
Well, like I said, ain't no takesy backs now, you know. There's no backseat.
But everybody cut. But I mean, a majority of the country voted because the way they did this time around, because they wanted to see a drastic shakeup of everything.
Like I say, everybody voted in a drastic shakeup, but they didn't know the details of how it's going to work. That's why Trump was out.
But at the end of the day, that's all you can do is get that person in office that wants to do that and see what the outcome is. That's all you can do.
And just like Trump was backtracking on his immigration policy last night, when he said about, we cannot be hurting our farmers. When that video of the ICE agents chasing that guy through the strawberry fields in Oxnard, not a good look. Folks ain't
and they what they need to do is reopen that program.
It depends on whether that person working the fields had committed any crime, and that's why they were there after him.
Well, that's what the protests are about, mainly.
There is a dead girl. What was her name?
Well, you need to go back to the 70s or 80s when they had that policy of the seasonal visas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, that's
which is
fine.
But
that's not fine, because a lot of people are complaining, they overstayed their visa, so now they're still here 15, 20,
they just need to be stricter on the enforcement of those visas.
But like I say, just like Lon was on the other day, deport them all, send them all back. Randy was saying the same thing. Send them all back. No due process. Send them all back.
Well,
I mean, that's the majority of the country at the moment.
Like I say, be careful what you ask for. Because like I say, a lot of folks who work at hotels, farmlands, and other small jobs that a lot of us don't do anymore, these are the people who do those work. And they're scared to come to work. Not that they might not be undocumented themselves, because they're getting people who are getting scooped up for the ones who need to get deported, and they're getting scooped up and held because they work with them.
That could just be an investigational thing, though.
Like I say, would you like going to work knowing that you can get scooped up?
If you're owning a company and you're pretty much employing all illegals, at that point you're harboring illegals.
No kidding.
So why wouldn't?
But do you see any farmers or factory workers getting arrested?
I think they should be.
I
agree, Don. I agree, but I don't see it. There's no reports or anything on that saying any farmer, anybody down there in the southern states who employ a lot of illegal immigrants in the chicken farms and other places getting arrested.
The difficulty.
They're big donors.
Yeah, but the difficulty also is proving the intent, because a lot of these illegals that are working there have fake documentation. And so the it gives the employer an out saying, they showed me this and I assumed it was correct and I just went ahead with my business. I can't do all that
You know what?
research.
That
And
no, it's easy, Don. It's easy, Don, because we've had Social Security verification for at least 30-something plus years. So they show you a fake
Yeah,
Social
but they're
Security number.
stealing, actively stealing. Social
Like,
Security
if you
numbers.
steal it, it's gonna come back to somebody.
Mhm.
If it ain't that person, guess what? It's fake.
So
My
yeah,
dad always said
if
he
you
was-
can prove they're knowingly, if you can prove that they're knowingly hiring illegals, yeah, they should be, because they are an accomplice in committing a crime.
Right. But like I say, this is what Trump is saying last night. He said it. Oh, we
And
can't stop this.
I think you have one illegal, they committed a crime. You have two, you have 100 guys, each one of them committed one crime. An employer who is employing 100 illegals committed 100 crimes.
Yeah, you can look at it like
Each of those
that.
illegals committed one crime.
Mm-hmm.
So I think.
So how come we don't see any? I
think we should.
I can say you and I both agree on that. I think we should see some farmers getting arrested, walked off, put in the back of the van, or getting snatched from a restaurant out with their family, getting their cars pinned in on the street, getting snatched out of their vehicles in front of their family and taken in. I said, I'm a big believer in equal opportunity to law. Get everybody, get them all.
Yeah, it's like, well, I saw the news this morning about some senator crashing a news conference last night.
And that's not true. He didn't crash it.
Well, I watched the video. He did. He wasn't invited.
This is what happened. You can't go in the federal building unless you're invited to go in.
Not into that press conference. He went into that press conference uninvited.
Let me give you the full story, Don. He got checked for security up front. He was escorted. He was there for a meeting. First of all, he was escorted there for a meeting with the Northern Command, the military troops. That meeting was delayed. He asked, could he go to the press room? He was escorted by two FBI agents. To listen. He went. He was in the back of the room. He stood up to ask a question, which you're allowed to do because it was a press conference. Because other people were asking questions.
No,
so he stood to ask the questions.
He doesn't get to just. He's not part of the press. He doesn't get to ask the question.
How do you know? How do you know? Because everybody said they didn't know who he was.
So did she call him? No. The video shows him. The video shows him yelling and walking towards the podium. The video that he put out, his video shows him.
Yeah.
Nobody else was acting like that.
And then when he was stopped.
If you or I were.
Let's continue on with the video. Like you said, you saw the video.
Sure.
Did he not identify himself?
He yelled his name. Yes.
So does that guy give you pause that if this guy is who he say he is, we should give him the due respect of his position in office?
No, because he's not there in his official capacity.
Why isn't he?
Because his job is
there in the building.
If he's there for official business. If he's there for oversight, it is on the Senate floor. It is not in the press conference there with.
Well, they're using the term crashing out as just freaking out because that's the new term for crashing out.
So if any of us were there and jumped up and started yelling questions, they would tell us, "Hey, sit down." And if I resisted, I would be taken out of the room. And if I resisted, I would be put in handcuffs. Right?
Now this
I
is
say
Donald
no kings. We're talking about no kings. No kings. Just because he's a senator does not mean he gets to act differently than the rest of us.
Okay, Donald Trump walks in, wants to ask a question. He gets shoved out the door.
If he walks onto the Senate floor, yes.
No. I'm talking about in this press conference.
No, because he's her boss. No, because he's her boss.
Yeah, it's a federal building.
The senator's not her boss?
No. She works for the president. She's a cabinet member.
Yeah, and the cabinet answers to the Senate.
No, the cabinet answers to the president. The Senate has an oversight committee, and that happens on the Senate floor, not in her press conference. Not by one senator in a press conference.
Because I say again, there's going to be some folks who are going to get demoted.
Because there's a process.
Well, it's just like the ones that tried to storm that
he was not following it. He was not following the legal process to conduct oversight.
Like I said, there's going to be some folks getting demoted. and possibly lose their jobs because how they handled the senator after he identified himself who he was.
I don't give a shit what he says if he's not supposed to be there.
What makes
raising
him
ruckus.
what makes him supposed and not supposed to be there when he's
Because
getting clear clearance in the
he was
facility?
he was okay to listen. He said, "I want to listen," not jump up and start yelling. That is the difference.
Okay.
And when he was stopped because
How
he
many
was
press
walking,
how
he
many
was
press
walking.
conferences, Don? How many
And so
press
he was
conferences
walking
have you
towards-
watched? How many press conferences have you watched where you not see reporters yelling questions?
Not while approaching the podium.
Whatever. You call it approaching
Was
the
he
podium.
was
I
he
think- I
walking
think
toward the
he-
podium? Was
He
he walking toward
walked
the
to be
podium?
identified. I can
Was
say
he
he's
walking
walking to
to-
be identified. He was not rushing, as you're saying. He was not rushing to the front.
The video shows
He-
him walking towards, and they stepped
Yeah.
by his hair, and he was pushing against them so he could get up to the front. He was pushing against security,
Mm-hmm.
and that was,
Okay.
and it wasn't until after they started,
Yeah, after
pushing
the
him
first
out of the
push,
room, then he
after the
identified
first
himself.
push, that's it. No, he identified himself in the press conference. After
No,
the first
not-
push, read that.
After
watch
the
that video
after
again.
the first push, after the first push.
After the first push, he said, "Do you know who I am? I am Senator Alex Padilla." Right there, everything should have stopped.
No,
Should have stopped.
he is not a king.
I didn't say he's a king.
Then he
But
doesn't
he's
get to
a
act
recognized.
differently.
He
He
is a
doesn't get to act
recognized
differently
public
than you or
official.
I. If
He's a
you
rec-
or I, but he's not there in official capacity in that room. If it was on the Senate floor and he identified himself, if we're doing something, that's where he's supposed to be. That's his job. His job is not to interrupt a press conference of a cabinet member. That's not his part of his job.
No, because it's like I kind of see where Donald's going with it. You're saying he's kind of like a security guard that tried to pull somebody over. He wasn't there in official capacity.
Not in that press conference. He was not there in official capacity in that press conference. He had no reason to interrupt that press conference. He did it, and here's the thing: he did it for a stunt. He wanted a reaction.
Well, I don't doubt that.
That's why they had
I
the
don't doubt
camera.
that.
And so him getting taken out and handcuffed was exactly what he wanted. He got what he wanted. And you're falling for his propaganda. That's fine.
I'm not falling for any propaganda. I'm just saying that there's
You're
a way
saying it
you
was wrong.
handle public. I'm just saying there's a way you handle public officials.
Yeah,
There's a
but
way public
they can-
officials need to act.
But the thing is, it was
don't
it
If
was
a
like
public official,
to the ground.
if a public official acts in this, they should be treated the same way I would be treated. He's not royalty. If I did the same thing in a press conference, I would be pushed out, and if I resisted, I would be
We will
handcuffed.
see. We will see.
Are you saying I
well,
wouldn't?
it's like yeah, but
Would I
it's
not?
like
I believe it. I guarantee you, someone will lose a position or be demoted.
Maybe.
well,
Maybe.
Maybe it's guaranteed.
well, the thing is though, is it's like the same
But
thing when they
but
tried
the
to
senator was
get
still
to that
wrong.
ICE facility.
The
You can
senator
call
was
it-
still wrong in what he did.
You can call it tomato. Somebody's going to lose a position.
It
That I
should be
will
the senator.
guarantee.
It should be the senator.
No, they
No,
already
it was-
hinted at that. They already hinted at that. It ain't going to wash.
Like I said, it's like the ones that tried to storm that ICE facility. They had no right to go in there.
Exactly.
But they got a big reaction and a big news story out
And
of
that's
it
what they want.
for
And
acting
it's-
a
it's to
fool, and
make
it
the
made them look good on their side because
That's
they're
why
saying
they
they're
that's why he
bullying
was
us.
there with the camera. That's why his camera person was there with him, so he could make a scene and develop this propaganda, which you are basically siding with him for whatever reason, I don't know. But he was in the wrong in that place.
Because they're trying to make this administration look like a dictatorship. That's their whole plan, and that's why they keep storming
Look,
these facilities and getting arrested.
They attacked me with police.
or
It's like
attacked by security.
it's security, and you were acting up to get security to put you out of the room. That's what you wanted. That's what he wanted. He did it for that reaction. You think senators should be able to interrupt any cabinet member?
I mean,
press conference?
one of their senators was removed from was it Congress or Senate that one got removed during the
He was acting up to get the reaction.
was it Al something? Al Grant? No.
I don't know.
Al Green doing the
Yeah.
president's speech.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
the
I
sergeant of
think-
arms had to remove.
I don't care what he says. I think anybody who carries around a cane as a prop, Like, it's like, who are you? You the Monopoly man? Come on.
Oh,
Oh,
It's good to have these discussions.
it is.
Not enough people have them these days. What's up, Joe? Where's Oh, Joe's still muted.
he's probably around. Probably messing with the dog.
Paul left. I don't know where he went. He called me and said he was taking off.
Paul was here a minute ago.
Yeah, he called me on the phone. He was muted on the stream now.
Oh,
Said he was leaving.
maybe
Gitchy said, thank you, Don and Dre, for the civil discussion.
I'm just researching right now.
So, how you doing, Gitchy?
It's already 11 o'clock.
Almost Niagara.
Digital. 699 digital. Joplin pending. Okay, so where was I
need
at?
to go. Check your whiteboard.
I already watched your video. I have to have it on the whiteboard.
No, I said check your whiteboard because you said you forgot where you were at.
I have almost cleared my whiteboard off.
A big whiteboard, dude.
No kidding, ain't that nice?
No,
They were gonna throw that.
yeah.
They were gonna throw that out, and I'm just like, no way.
You see mine right there. Got mine sectioned off in days of the week and calendar dates.
Yep, you gotta love a good whiteboard.
Yeah.
Like I said, I use the computer, the task app on the computer over here. It doesn't work as good as a whiteboard. I need that tactile.
Well, my thing is, it's because it's bigger. Take a quick glance, see it right away. Computer, you got to open up a program most of the time. Then you got to see what's up. And I'm like, nah, I just need a quick glance.
Yep.
So, all right,
And
guys, I got
something
to go do
nice
some
about
work.
erasing it.
Well, I don't like when mine is clean like it is now. That means I ain't got no work.
I don't mind mine being clean because I'm going on vacation and I can't enjoy a vacation if I got work waiting for me.
All right, when you leaving?
Tomorrow morning around 5:30.
Oh, okay. Well, you enjoy yourself and
We
overall
got a
be safe.
10-hour drive tomorrow.
Oh, good luck. This you and a wife?
No, we're going with a couple of friends.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say the grandkids. I said, ooh.
No, we're not taking grandkids on a 10-hour road trip.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, ooh.
Oh my gosh. No, that would be, if we did that, then it would definitely be a 2-day trip. All right, kids, we've been on the road long enough. We're going to pull over. We're going to pull over. We're going to pull over. All right. Now we're down bottom of Arkansas. We'll stop somewhere and get a hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're going to make a couple beach runs, Gitchy, next month or so.
I'll see y'all later.
Maybe
Bye.
this month sometime at the end of the month. Later.
Okay, so we got that. That is apparently correct.
How long are you taking off? A whole week?
Yes.
Nice.
I think we're planning on coming back. What day was that? We were planning on coming back. I think it was either Thursday or Friday. We're going to come back.
And they give you a couple days of wind down after the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than coming home from a trip and having to work the next day.
The next day. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I always plan to have at least one day after I get back.
Yeah. I'm going to need a couple because I guarantee there's going to be work to do around the house. NEO, there it is. Creative map.
Yeah, plus you're gonna have a week's worth of work to catch up on unless they got somebody to cover you.
They got somebody covering. Well, my boss
Oh,
is covering
nice.
for me.
Ah, then
I
you
got a
won't
meeting
have-
at 1 o'clock to go over the stuff that is outstanding, and he'll take care of anything that comes in.
Oh, that's good then. Then you don't have to catch up on anything when you get back.
Yeah, I'll have that Monday morning, a meeting with him Monday morning for him to go over what came in and what was. That's not right. Okay, I need to do more there. That needs to be. So STEM was Spotify 500 for May, June, July. We're good. May, June, July. That'd be social posting $1,000, May, June, July. That has not run, so I cannot put that on yet. You know what? I'm going to put on anyway, just because. And I have warned them multiple times. Is that I need YouTube TV?
I need to get it today.
YouTube TV was
I'll get it today.
$38.50.
Have to go to the store and get some. I'm regretting not bringing my camera on this trip. Could not fit it in my bag.
Paul's in his third shirt.
Later,
today.
Gitchy.
What's up?
I don't know. He just called me on the phone when Dre and Donald were talking, said he had to go somewhere and made me host and left.
Started with a blue shirt, changed to a white shirt, then the black shirt.
I'm pretty convinced Paul has like nothing but the same outfits. He's in that same shirt every day.
You know, you used to be a postal worker, and those were the shirts that they wore when they had to do their routes. So you probably got about 100 of them.
Well, it's like when I go clothes shopping, if I find an outfit I like, sometimes I'll buy 2 or 3.
Well, you know, Steve Jobs did that.
Yeah, I'll buy 2 or 3 of the same outfit.
He decided he had a uniform that he didn't have to make any decisions anymore as far as clothes. He didn't have to dress stylish. He didn't have to do whatever. He had that uniform and he wore the jeans in black.
Oh yeah, like the couple of like when Walmart changed up their policy and was letting people kind of wear whatever they wanted for the most part, I still had a uniform type set I wore. It was a nice light polo shirt, like one of the real light breathable ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I always had a pair of khakis on. Like,
well, that's like Paul. He's got the same.
But I could have wore
everything else. He don't make any decisions.
But I could have wore t-shirts, whatever, you know. But I stuck to that, and I had 7 complete uniforms when I worked there. I had one pretty much for every day of the week. And there was the same 7 shirts and 7 pants.
Hey, Justin, I hope he's got more than one of those shirts.
Yeah,
Because he, like I said, he's got the same food every day. He's got this. You look at him, he's like an animal that has just biometric rhythms that they got to eat the same time, the same thing every day. Like, every time he's about 10 o'clock in the morning, he wants ice cream. You got to have a Boston cream right off the bat. You know, it's consistent.
Consistency.
And then so many days into it, he's got to have his Duke Life. You know. Consistent. And if you listen to him when he comes on in the morning, he says the same thing. If we're more than 10 minutes from coming in, he says he thinks everybody doesn't want him to have the stream anymore. It's
yeah,
consistent.
sometimes he starts them like 10, 15 minutes early, and then people aren't looking for it. You know, they're not expecting him to be on right then.
They said everybody's busy. They got their own thing to do. I don't think anybody else is on. Well, maybe I'm just interfering with them, and maybe I'm tired. Time to end the stream, not do it anymore, and then somebody will pop on and he forgets about it. You know, it's the same. Like I said, it's 51st dates every day.
51st dates. That's funny.
Welcome to Studio B. 51st
That's a good
dates.
that's a good comparison right there.
It is. Groundhog Day. At least Groundhog Day, you can make progression.
Yeah, at least you remembered what you did the day before.
Reminds me, what's that guy's name? That what they go in and say, "Hi, I'm Stu," or whatever his name was. Can't remember.
Yeah.
And then they start talking to him, and he goes, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Stu."
Or he'd like learn the background of all the hot chicks, and they thought he was God.
Yeah.
You tell them their complete background. I like when he comes to that reality too. He's like, I think I'm God.
I had to empty out 2 of those big Rubbermaid bins and put them in a big box that I have in the back. That I had to empty the box out because it has 2 comforters. I'm giving them that was my daughter's comforters, expensive, like $300 comforters for her bed when she was young. So now she's gonna get them for Lily. And I had to empty that out, and then I had to empty 2 plastic Rubbermaid bins out, big ones, and put all that stuff back in that box. It's all Mardi Gras stuff. And then my son's gonna come get the 2 Rubbermaid bins and use those. And he's pissed off because it's storming right now. He can't do anything. I said, well, that's the way it is when you move. It always storms the day you move. So he's not leaving now until like 7 o'clock tonight.
I might as well just leave now.
Well, that's what he's doing. He's sleeping.
Good.
He was sleeping just a few minutes ago.
Well, I mean, if he's used to being up all night, that's one thing. But I'm telling you, dude, traveling off of your
He's
normal
used to
sleep
being up
schedule.
late, so that's the good news.
Okay. Because
So
like
he's gonna sleep now.
Sarah's mom's did that shit when we moved down here. We had our U-Haul and hers, and she wanted to leave at like 5 o'clock at night. So we didn't get here until 9 or 10 hours later, and everybody was used to sleeping at nighttime. Oh, dude, it was fucking horrible, dude. That was the worst drive ever.
Yeah, he told me. He said I'm supposed to go eat with James. We're supposed to go to lunch, but he wants to go about 4 o'clock now since I'm leaving later. So he's gonna go eat there. He says I'm hungry right now, but I don't want to leave here because it's pouring down rain. I said, well, if you ever get over here, if you want some shrimp and grits, I'll give you some you can take with you. You know. I'm trying a new recipe there, Donald. The shrimp and grits. I saw it on Instagram and it looked kind of unique.
Shrimp and grits?
Shrimp and grits on Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
And what they did is it's slow cooker. You put a cup and a half of grits and you put 5 cups of a mixture between milk and water.
Okay.
And then you put the butter in it and you put your seasoning in it and you get all that to cook.
Mm-hmm.
And once it's all cooked, you throw your grits, your shrimp in. And you season the shrimp with the Cajun seasoning and get it all nice and seasoned up.
Now, are you throwing your shrimp in there raw or are you doing
raw?
Okay, I could see that.
Because it's going to be hot enough that they're going to cook it in 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, I kind of like the flavor of a seared shrimp more than
Me too. That's why I'm going to probably do it myself.
But sear it and then throw it in with that. Yeah. Sounds good.
That's what I'm gonna do. I was thinking about it. I'd rather have that little black singe on them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Sear it up a little bit. So I'll probably sear them up and then throw them in.
Yeah. You do cornstarch on the outside of your shrimp or no?
I never do. Never do.
I know a lot of people do that just to get that little bit of crispy on the outside, but
as long as I get it to where it's cooked enough and it's got that little bit of burnt on it, you know? I'm gonna probably do it in my new wok that I've never used yet. I've got that sucker seasoned so well. It's a dark midnight blue.
Did you ever find the insert you needed?
Yeah, I did. I actually did.
Because I gave you the link to that one company, but that was the only one I could find.
Yeah, but I found one. I said, let me try this, see if it works. it's just a ring with holes around it. It fits on the
Right.
top. And when you turn it on high to get it hot enough, it gets hot enough. So
So you must have found the right size, because remember me and you were scouring the internet
yeah, I
and
mean,
we
yeah.
couldn't find but like what was it, the 8-inch size or something? Like
Yeah,
nobody had it.
I found it for like $8.
Okay.
Yeah, it works too. It's stainless steel, so it's not gonna hurt anything. Like I said, I turned it on and tried it just to heat it up, and it got hot quick. So it holds all the heat in, you know.
Yeah, and that just has the little vent holes on the side.
You got the vent holes on the side.
Yeah.
As long as I got to remember not to touch it, you know.
It's the same ring that people use cooking on like campfires and stuff too, to
Yeah,
put pans on.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for one that I could have put that would have integrated into it, that would have been cast iron, so I could have just left it there. But then when I put it on, I could leave it there anyway, you know.
Yeah, because
if I don't, I just take it off.
There's one guy I watch that does camping videos every once in a while. One of his videos will pop on, but he has one like that, but it's a little bit bigger. It's like 12 or 14 inch.
Right.
And he builds the fire inside of it, and then he's got these big pans that go on top of it, like this plate thing. But it looks exactly like the way you're describing yours.
But it works. Well, y'all had an interesting conversation. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a good one.
If I wouldn't have been
Everything's
tied up behind
level
18
heads.
boxes where I had to move everything, I would have been out here too.
I said, ain't nothing wrong with a good discussion like that, because not enough people are having them these days.
Yep. Yeah, today's acting like a Friday the 13th with all the lightning and thunder around here.
It's actually sunny here today, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I told Justin, since he said he's gonna put some stuff in the back of that truck, so you need to go get a tarp, just in case. And he never did. But everything he's putting in the back of the truck is gonna be with plastic lids, you know, so it's nothing that could really get damaged. He's just got to strap it all down.
Oh yeah,
you
you
got
guys
18 freaking straps to do.
y'all got a big ass storm over. Damn, it's over Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, North
The
Carolina.
worst part about it, he's got to realize he's gonna go through it tonight.
Yeah, it goes all the way up to Chicago.
Yeah, he
and
might
down
go
into
through it again.
Missouri. Yeah, look at this.
So,
It's a pretty big storm.
I keep getting a email from this one company that says we can't process your payment, right? And I've been getting it for I get it every day. Payment's been processed. You know, I know that, you know. It just aggravates the hell out of me because they got, I mean, it looks real. As soon as I saw it, I went and looked and made sure that
Is that coming up on your bank statements or your
no,
alerts?
it's already taken out.
Okay, so
just-
because it kind of sounded like you were dealing with a scam there for a second.
Oh, it is a scam. It is a scam.
Oh,
Is what it is.
they're just acting like they're from that same company you paid.
Yeah, and the return address on it's pretty close. What gives it away is QVC, right? It gives it away. It says reply to QVC at t.qvcmail.com. That T gave it away.
So you ever get emails like that and you aren't absolutely sure and you're being, second guessing yourself, you always just contact the company directly.
Well, that's what I
Say,
do.
hey, am I all good? Yep, you're good. Okay.
Yeah, because like I said, I just went online because I paid online. Went online, it came out like 2 days after my statement was due. went online, it processed, because I get a text right here, it says, the payment's been processed.
What's up, Dusty?
So it's like,
Jody.
Jody. I don't touch them scammer things. Sometimes, if I could find a place to send it back to, I just send it to support@qvc.com. They said send it to them. And I said, you got some asswipe fishing again. I said, he's an idiot. And then I got ET pointing up saying, idiot, I put on there. And I sent it back to him. What I'll do is I'll say reply all, and it always comes back undeliverable.
Are you talking about QVC, the shopping network?
Yeah.
Joe was up late buying shit out there again.
So every once in a while, I used to buy stuff. What I'll do is if I want to,
that was one of his
if I need,
4
like,
payments of
I need that
1999.
shampoo, I'll go get a shampoo from them because they usually have the best ones. And I'll look at one and I could get it like 6 payments. I don't have to worry about it. And it's
Okay.
relatively the same price.
They decided to throw some curveballs at me on my Friday the 13th. So day before vacation. Hey, let's screw with Dawn. So I'm gonna go. I gotta take care of some stuff.
Hit it out the park.
Well, have a safe drive when you leave.
So Paul never said where he was going.
No, he just said he was taking off. I don't even know if he was leaving the house. He just said,
He's not leaving the house.
I got to do
he had
something.
He had an invite to a meal. He said he wasn't going to. So first he said he didn't feel good. Then he said, I don't know if I want to.
Was that the meal at the Applebee's or whatever it was, or Texas Roadhouse? Or
I couldn't tell you.
Remember he said that one person was throwing a big party. They rented out the restaurant and he got invited. I told him to go in there and just get a plate and go home. Go in there, say hi to everybody, grab a plate. Tell him you got to go.
I told him, I said, you need to go to it. Because I guarantee you, he says he don't want to mingle with anybody. I guarantee you, everybody that walks past him out there when he's flying ship, he talking to. It's like that commercial where they tell you don't have to be like your father. And the guy's at the gas station, he's talking to the guy while he's pumping gas. He says, if you need the code to the toilet, here's the code,
Oh yeah.
No problem, Donald.
There's no ships right now. He's home. He ain't going nowhere. Only other thing he could be doing is buying peanuts. Peanuts or Boston creams.
Went to get the donuts.
God, I couldn't spend that much on peanuts. Jesus Christ. If I was buying that many peanuts to feed the squirrels, they'd kick my ass.
If I was buying any peanuts to feed them squirrels, it's because I was getting ready to eat them.
Fatten them up.
To fatten them up a little.
Dude, those squirrels are gonna. I wonder if the squirrels like in his vicinity have gotten like institutionalized. Now, the minute Paul stops feeding them, they're gonna go fucking nuts. Just start attacking everybody in the neighborhood and shit.
They will. I guarantee you.
They ain't got no damn food no more.
Also, that you got to realize they may also have a stash of about 10 years worth.
Oh yeah, that's true. They do like to stash their food. That fucking tree in his front yard's probably full of them. Ain't nothing but peanuts inside. It's all hollowed out.
I was driving down a road going to the lighthouse the other day, and they had 3 turtles crossing the road, right?
Uh-huh.
And every one of them turtles, when they heard me come and stopped and looked and waited for me to go by.
Wouldn't it be
they
more
actually stopped.
Wouldn't it be more efficient for Paul just to plant some peanut trees? Or bushes?
It would be more efficient to not feed the squirrels.
Yeah, just plant some peanuts. They can go out there and get them themselves. Just got to do a little water.
Paul couldn't actually. If he went to Applebee's or something like that, he half of the stuff he wouldn't want. He just get like the chicken or something like that. He wouldn't want any vegetables.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yep.
He ain't gonna change now.
Oh, yeah, I don't think he's changed in how many years? 70, at least 65.
I mean, Paul's pretty much been the same since I've known him. Diet Cokes and donuts. Some
He's
breakfast
probably
bowls.
been the same since he's a teenager. Go ahead and change.
He eats like a college student, though, I'll tell you that. That's the type of shit college students live off of. Donuts, ramen, and fucking breakfast bowls.
Yeah, and then in between the Cheetos, and Boston creams, ice cream.
Well, that's what they always say, right? The most unhealthiest food is usually the cheapest too.
But
Like
did you notice?
fresh food's expensive.
Yeah, did you notice the other day when Jim dropped off some food to him? He started eating that thing like he never ate in his life.
Oh yeah, I bet it was good. It looked good.
Yeah, it was meatloaf. Man, he stopped everything. He hell with us and just ate, you know.
Oh, he probably hasn't had a decent meal in a long time.
He's probably
said
got
he
a
eats a
decent
lot.
meal in his freezer. He just don't want to throw it out and cook it.
He buys a lot of frozen foods that you have to heat up.
The other day he said he didn't have any more than the other day I asked him if he had any more of those Meals on Wheels. And he said no. Then a little while later he said he had about 15 of them or something like that in his freezer. I said, why don't you eat them? You know?
He usually would give those away to people.
Yeah, he used to give them away to the people across the street.
I'm switching the kitchen. I need to trash.
Shoot. Somebody wants to drop me off Meals on Wheels, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Bring them to me. We used to have a guy in this building when I first moved here. Bill, his name was Bill. And he was an engineer, worked at One Charles Place in the city. And down in the bottom, they've got all the different restaurants. And at nighttime, when he was leaving, he always left about the time they were closing up. So he got out before everybody else. So he'd go down there and he knew everybody and he said, what you got? And they'd have all the stuff they were getting ready to throw away, boxed up for him. And it might be a Greek restaurant, and they have all the gyros and everything else. Might be Japanese or Chinese, anything like that. It'd be an American thing with spaghetti and stuff. And he'd pull his truck into the back right there, and they'd load him up. He'd come home, and he would have 20, 25 things of food. He'd walk around, knock on your door, and hand it to you. Like that. And when he saw I had the 3 kids, we used to get the Chinese food and the Greek food all the time. He'd come over here. He said, you on your way home? Yeah, I'll be there in a few minutes. Okay, I'm hanging on your door. You know, because he'd be here. And I'd be on my way home. And it'd be sitting on my door. But you talking about, I mean, the styrofoam thing, you almost couldn't close them. They'd be so full. I never had to cook anything. Oh, he'd come walk up when he wait till the kids get here and hand it to the kids out there.
Yeah, there was an older couple that lived in North Carolina that owned a restaurant, and they didn't have any kids. Neither one of them had any kind of like living family or anything. And they used to treat Sarah like their granddaughter, and they used to send us food home all the time.
Yep.
I mean, containers full of shit. They both since have passed, but
Lynn put on a little short from the Daily Mail. It says Florida sheriff threatens to kill protesters.
I don't know who that was.
He said they're gonna kill him graveyard dead.
No,
let's see that.
Protesting's fine here, not rioting. Well, that's what they don't like.
I don't know who he is. You might know who he is, but it doesn't say his name.
Hey, it could be any one of them. They're all fucking.
Yeah.
Dude, all the sheriffs down here are fucking don't play around.
If you try to, I like how you said, if you let the driver leave, you can get run over. Did you be in the hospital? Then you go to jail.
Taking ill, I'd come home with an entire salad bar left over, baked potatoes every day. What?
Yeah, Grady was on yesterday.
Oh, he's on all the damn time, dude. Sometimes I can't keep up with his press
Yeah, he
conference.
was showing a picture of what was going on in California. And he said, "You see this? That's not gonna happen here."
Oh yeah, they tried to protest a couple years ago in Lakeland and they shut it down pretty quick. I don't even think it actually ever popped off. There was like rumors that it was going to happen. Like I say, he's said plenty of times before he's not against people protesting, but not in an unpeaceful way.
Yeah, he did say that. And he said, if you want to peacefully protest, we'll let you. He said, when you start burning things and breaking things, that's not a protest.
Oh, and then all you do is, because even though there's that many people rioting in LA, there's 3 times as many that aren't. And they're just trying to get through their daily, struggle like everybody else. And all you're doing is pissing off your local community at the end of the day. Because it ain't going to change anything. I mean, like I said before, if you really look at history, have protests or riots really ever, at the end of the day, accomplish their goal? Most of them haven't. All you're doing is destroying your own community and pissing off the rest of the people who live there. Don't destroy your own stuff, because every time you destroy a police car or anything like that, dude, that's tax money now that has to be paid to fix that car.
Yep.
Or replace it. And guess what? You guys are just hiking up your own prices in your own area for doing that.
Yeah. I got a friend of mine who's got a picture of him holding a tomato, and he's got peppers and stuff. And it says, "It's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in a war." And I said, that all depends on who's shooting at you.
Oh yeah, when Sarah used to work at Pizza Hut years ago, this was like the first year we met. Oh, dude, she used to bring home so much fucking pizza every day from the pizza bar, because they had a pizza and salad bar. Oh yeah, she'd bring home so much pizza, because when the pizzas would hit the time limit, of being out there,
Yeah.
they wouldn't throw them out. They'd just box them up and people would take them home. Like, we didn't give a shit to eat pizza that just hit the time limit on the salad bar. Who gives a shit? It ain't bad. It's just when they're telling you have to change it out to be fresh with it.
Right.
You just put it in a box, stick it in the cooler, and take it home at the end of the day.
We used to have a thing at pizza. We had a thing that if you made the pizza wrong, you automatically boxed it up. If you realized it was wrong when it came through, it get boxed up and put in the freezer in the back. And everything on Monday morning, it was frozen in the back. Went to Harvest, like the Harvest Food Bank, right? They came pick it up.
Yeah, the food charity.
And I used to tell the cooks, I'm saying, let me explain something to you. Don't make it wrong thinking you're gonna get it. Like that. Don't make it wrong if you're gonna get it. It's my discretion where it goes, and it's supposed to be going second harvester.
Well, honestly,
they all do that.
Well, honestly, the bad thing is if your restaurant or business is ending up with so much food at the end of the day, every day, then you're not calculating your customer base and your sales correctly.
Hey, it's a science. People don't realize how hard it is to do that.
You have to figure out when your rush hours are and all that. What's your average amount of people that come in? That's what you plan for. But if you're just making excess food, you're gonna waste a lot of money.
I had an area coach that emphasized that. She said at the end of the night, you shouldn't have hardly anything left to go.
Yep, and that's true too, because otherwise you're just wasting money.
Yeah, I used to, and at the end of the night, if you had say 10 pan pizzas in there, they didn't get thrown away because they'll swell up. You ran them through and burn them, and when you burn them, all they're getting on there is is like bread basically. And we take all of that and we put it in the freezer. That go the second harvest. They use it for bread.
We used to donate a lot of stuff to Feeding America charity when I worked at Walmart. And then
And,
all the
you know,
open bags of dog food, we would tape them up, and the local shelters got those for free. They'd come in every
Yeah.
week or two and pick up a whole pallet of dog food, and they'd get to keep it.
Yeah, the way she used to catch us, the way she knew if it was wrong was how much second harvester got. You could tell by the weight because it was weighed out. You know, had to be weighed out by pounds.
Because one thing that used to happen quite a bit is we'd get the variety packs, and either an employee would open it up thinking it was, individuals that needed to be put on the shelf. We had a lot of new employees that would do that, or customers would go in because they wanted one particular can and they'd rip it out. But then when you got to the register, the barcode wouldn't work because it had to be sold in a pack, not individual. And they would tell them they couldn't sell it. And so every time one of them variety packs got opened, that went on a pallet too and got donated.
Yep.
They would pick up sometimes one, maybe two pallets I think they came in every 2 weeks. And they would pick up anywhere between a pallet to 2 pallets worth of free dog food. The ASPCA.
The hardest part of the year to estimate was when football season was here, because the football season on Sunday you could estimate it easy because you know what people are gonna buy it. But like on a Friday night, it depends on where they were playing, where the games were. If Mandeville was playing at home, chances are we're not gonna sell as many pizzas. Mandeville was on the road, we're gonna sell some pizzas, but not a lot less. So it was like if I sold 50 this week, and then next week they're on the road, I'm only sell maybe 28 or 30. But I still have to be prepared and have them ready to go. And because the prepping time is the worst part, because if you gotta take them out and put them in a proofer, you're stuck for 45 minutes to an hour. You can't do anything until they proof. Because they're frozen.
Are you talking about the dough?
The dough. Because you can't just take the dough out and use it. There's a way to fast proof it. We knew how to fast proof it, but it's not the same. I mean, if we get caught fast proofing it, you get fired.
Yeah, so you're supposed to let it sit out and kind of thaw out for about an hour.
Yeah, it goes into actually a proofer that I think it was.
Oh, the thing like Walmart uses for the bread.
Yeah, sit in there and let it rise.
Lightning has been detected in your
And
area.
you better make sure that you remember it, because if it rises too much, it's no good. And people would forget it in there, and I'd be so pissed.
Was that your thing that just said lightning?
Yeah. That's a big thunderstorm going through.
I thought something was in my ear from my computer. I was like, what the fuck was that?
But I remember one week it was a playoff game, and it was St. Paul playing Mandeville. It wasn't a playoff game, it was St. Paul at Mandeville. And this was before I was shooting Mandeville. And no, I was shooting Mandeville. I was going to the game. And I got there morning, looked at it, and both teams were really hot. So it was going to be everybody coming in. And I looked at my stuff, and I looked at my projections, and I said, I'm putting 20 more pizzas in here. I'm putting 20 more of this and 10 more of this. And I prep it, and I get it all ready. And she walks in, and she's counting my stuff. She's looking at it. She goes, you prepped too many. I said, no, I didn't. She goes, I think you prepped too many. I said, why? I mean, ask me what answer. I said, why? She goes, because this has been the sales the last couple of weeks, and it's been slow. And I said, well, Mandeville's playing St. Paul here. I said, so everybody from coming up the road is going to be coming down here, and you got people stopping here to get pizza too. She looked at it, she goes, yeah, I don't know about that. I said, I've seen it happen. Because I've seen it happen when the Covington Crown came down, where we pulled about 10 pizzas from addresses from Covington. And, because we always asked them, we needed to get their phone number and their zip code. The zip code gave us a little more history on it.
Yeah, I don't know how the. Yeah, I don't know how the pizza.
But that night, they ran out of pizza. We sold more than I thought.
I don't know how the Pizza Hut where Sarah worked stayed open as long as it did, because, oh my God, dude, that place was just leaking money from people taking free pizzas. And Two of the
So where-
one of the managers
Where you
apparently got
been?
robbed twice in 1 year. It wasn't, they thought was the setup between the two.
You went to lunch?
Who, Paul?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not answering.
We always ask them.
Paul,
Just to,
The zip code gives a little more history.
yeah, I don't know how the. Yeah, I don't know how the people.
Yeah, but that night, they ran out of pizza. We started going that on.
I don't know how, the Pizza Hut where Sarah worked stayed open as long as it did, because, oh my God, dude, that place was just leaking, money from people taking free pizzas. You trying to figure out where the stream's at, Paul? Two of the one of the managers. I can hear it playing in the background. It wasn't, they thought it was set up.
You went to lunch?
I went and met everybody and I didn't eat lunch. I came back.
Should have
Do you
ate.
guys hear the stream?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna hit a stream too.
yeah, I can hear the stream, so you got it playing somewhere. It's very light though. Like wherever you got it on the computer, it's turned way down because you can barely hear it.
Huh. Because it's off on YouTube.
Okay, I don't hear it now.
Yeah, I don't hear it now.
Must
Why
have
you
closed
didn't
the
eat?
window. You trying to figure out where the stream's at, Paul? No, and I can hear
I've got
it.
it.
I can hear it playing in the back.
We got an echo going.
Yeah.
Went and met everybody and I didn't eat lunch. I came back.
That's coming from your end though. That's somewhere on your computer. It's just turned down really low.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna hit a stream too.
yeah, I can hear the stream, so you got it playing somewhere. It's very light.
How many tabs you got open?
Like wherever you got it on the computer, it's turned way down.
He's looking like he's looking through about 50 of them.
It's off on YouTube.
I don't hear it.
Can you hear it now?
I don't hear it now. No, I don't hear it anymore.
I'm
you just
gonna
dropped-
sign out. I'm gonna sign out and come back in.
Who just dropped out? Was it
I don't
Lance
know.
or Jonathan?
Must have been Lance.
It's just turned down.
I still hear it in the background. You got
Yeah,
how
I
many
can hear it
tabs
now.
you have open?
Sign and leave.
Tabs you got open?
Captain Joe or Justin.
Don't matter. Did he drop out?
Yeah, he dropped out because he don't
Okay.
realize what tab he's in.
I wasn't sure if he dropped out or if he just ended the stream. I was waiting for you to say something.
Must have made you host.
I didn't reboot my computer for a fucking tab. It's somewhere there.
He must have tabs all over that thing.
Well, he uses a really old search engine too. Isn't he using like MSN or some shit like that? It looks like a search engine from the 90s
Wow.
or from the early 2000s. What's up, JD?
JD. Oh,
Any echoes now?
yep.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait for the stream to catch up. We'll have to wait about 10, 15 seconds. Yeah, I don't hear anything now. So.
I don't hear.
I think we're good to go.
Yeah, I don't hear nothing.
So anyway, there was about 30, 35 people there.
Yeah, why didn't you eat though?
Because two reasons. And I know Joe knows the first reason. I took my clean out pills this morning. And the second reason is that in the chairs in that restaurant were not comfortable and I was having a hell of a time with my back and everything. So.
Well, first reason is why did you take, if you knew they had that thing today, why'd you take a clean out pill?
Well, because I didn't think I was going to go, but then I got to thinking about it. The guy was nice enough to invite me to go. And
Why am I getting billed a drone or Captain Drone?
he's the guy that's the big insurance agent, one of the biggest insurance salesmen in the Midwest, but he also started up a company called Blue Water Healthy Living, where they have all these different people that have different shows on there on YouTube. So he was buying everybody lunch, all the employees, all the different people. And they usually take some of my ship videos and put them on their channel. So, which kind of helps me.
Oh man. All right.
Tino laying here snoring.
She learned that from you?
He learned that on his own.
Now, do any of those dogs sleep in bed with you?
No. Nope.
They're on their own?
All
They
right.
sleep under the bed.
I'm gonna jump off. I'll catch y'all later.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably jump off too because Justin
Hey,
told me
Justin,
what.
we can just shut her down.
All right.
Yeah, we'll be
Okay,
back.
I'll see y'all later.
See you
Okay.
guys this afternoon.
Everybody, hey, take care. Jonathan, thanks for sticking that out
Jonathan.
with them. And we'll see everybody later this afternoon at 5 p.m.
Later.
Okay, Joe. Bye.
Where my bag at, Joe?